Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Start with Eternal Mangekyo refuses to form a team with the school beauties. Chapter 26. What a strong attack power. Compared with attaching the power of Kamui to a weapon to attack, it is obviously more effective to directly use it to defeat the enemy. The only problem is that all living beings are equal under Kamui, and this move will either kill or injure you. In normal school fighting, it is still not easy to use casually. Okay. All the skills have been tested and it's time to go to bed. During these 2 hours, Lyn Ran was never idle, continuously testing the power of different skills. The result made him quite satisfied. Except for the Kroom series awakening skills of Op fruit, which cannot be used for the time being due to insufficient development of the fruit's abilities, the others are very good. The most offensive among them is still the Kamui vortex in the left eye, which brings space twisting ability. Lyn Ran pressed the recovery button on the wall, restored the practice room, and stretched out of the practice room. Early morning of the second day. Lyn Ran got up early in the morning, and went to a nearby snack city with Luo Chinan to have breakfast, and then went to the conference room they had agreed to. Because the map of Yanyan University with the biochip is there, it is unlikely that the two of them will get lost. The only difference is that Lyn Ran is driving this time. Lyn Ran didn't want the breakfast he had just eaten to be shaken by Luo Chinan's bumper car until he vomited it out. The two of them arrived very early, but it was only 8:30. There was still quite a while before the scheduled 10 o'clock sharp. Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan also found a seat away from the door in the podium, chatting away from time to time while secretly observing the others. Every year, Yanyan University's special enrollment only has about 100 places, and the number of floating points is about 5 to 10, not too many. Those who came obviously hid their information very well. The only thing Lyn Ran could see was their student ID information. After all, you can't hide your student ID card from the students of this school. Why do these people look like they are worth 25,800 yuan? Luo Chinan whispered. Lyn Ran rolled his eyes. The vast majority of them have mining interests at home. Do you understand the temperament of a wealthy family? Do you think everyone is like us, a pauper before the college entrance examination? Luo Chinan stuck out her tongue and continued to sit in a daze. At this time, a figure suddenly flashed out from the side and smiled at Lyn Ran. Brother Lyn, is there anyone next to you? Lyn Ran took a closer look and saw a big boy with a bright smile and strong muscles. The information on his student ID showed that his name was Xiao Shong. Lyn Ran also smiled. No one is here, Brother Xu, please sit down. Luo Chinan was sitting on his right, in the corner of the last row in the conference room. Xiao Shong was sitting on his left side at this time. Xiao Shong smiled and said, Brother Lyn is famous. As the top scorer in this year's college entrance examination, I have advanced the record of the highest difficulty level by more than 10 minutes. You know, this year's test questions are definitely the most difficult ones in history. The gold content of this record is terrifyingly high. Lyn Ran didn't know what this person was doing for a while, so he just smiled and said, No, I'm just lucky. Who can attend this meeting who is not an amazing and talented person? Brother Xu is definitely one of the best. Xiao Shong laughed. Brother Lyn is so humble. Your level must be far above mine. Just the bloodline ability that can greatly enhance the cutting power of weapons and control black flames is probably stronger than the talents of many people. But there is an old saying that goes well. The wind will destroy the trees that stand tall in the forest. Brother Lyn, this big tree has been attracting wind lately. Lyn Ran remembered what the senior sister in charge of reporting said to him when he entered the school. However, in order to let Xiao Shong reveal his intention, he still sighed and said, How do you say this? Xiao Shong looked at the movement around him, lowered his head slightly, and came closer to Lyn Ran. Now, there is a loud voice. That is to say, Brother Lyn's number. One scholar is not worthy of his name. Because they feel that the main reason why Brother Lyn was able to improve his record so much is that someone gave Brother Lyn the questions in advance. After all, Brother Lyn's performance in the dungeon is so amazing that he won't be confused by the dim and thorny environment when he is on the road. It's like having a god's perspective. Of course I absolutely believe in Brother Lyn. But my abilities are limited. I can't stop other people's mouths even if I want to. Lyn Ran squinted his eyes and touched his chin. It doesn't matter. It's normal for them to have such doubts. The main reason why they think so is because they haven't seen my strength with their own eyes. When my black flames burn them, they will probably change their minds. Xu Sheng gave Lyn Ran a thumbs up. Brother Lyn is so courageous. But, after all, Brother Lyn relied on his college entrance examination results to get the first place among the current freshmen, and even the student number is the first. So there are simply too many people who hate Brother Lyn to count. Even if Brother Lyn has great supernatural powers, he might not be able to defeat 4 hands with 2 fists. Xu is not talented, but he is willing to share the pressure for Brother Lyn. If someone wants to provoke or insult Brother Lyn in the future, Brother Lyn only needs to give me the name of the Xu family in Jiangdong, and Brother Lyn will be safe. With that said, Xu Sheng handed a business card to Lyn Ran's hand. Jiangdong Xu family. Lyn Ran looked at the business card in his hand and felt a little confused. As the most prestigious wealthy family in Jiangdong province, the reputation of the Xu family can be ranked among the best in the entire Dragon Kingdom. The number of families that can challenge him head-on can be counted on one hand. So, why did such a large and powerful family come to find me? Lyn Ran glanced at Xu Sheng doubtfully. Xu Sheng explained with a smile. Our Xu family is different from many other wealthy families. They generally don't like to absorb external forces. They just pay more attention to their own family members. And what we like most is recruiting talents from outside. When Brother Lyn graduates from Yanyan University in the future, he will definitely be a leader among people and can stand alone. It's perfect to bring Miss Luo to join my Xu family. I guarantee that the two of you will be able to rise to great heights and soar into the sky. If you make a big enough contribution, you won't be able to serve as the head of my Xu family. When the time comes, my father will definitely organize a grand wedding, so that people in the whole city, the whole province, and even the whole country can celebrate you. Cough, cough, cough. After listening to Xu Sheng's words, Lyn Ran couldn't help but started coughing violently. Luo Chinan, who was sitting aside and listening, also blushed and started to rub the ribbon on her clothes with her hands. When Lyn Ran finished coughing, Xu Sheng showed his extremely sunny smile again. Brother Lyn, Miss Luo, what do you two think? Lyn Ran sighed and said. Thank you Brother Xu for your kindness. I think this kind of thing needs to be considered in the long term. I won't take the Xu family's name for the time being. Humans, if you are struggling in this dangerous world, you still have to rely on yourself. There is always a solution to a problem. If other people really want to harm me, then let them do it. For those who come to provoke me, I will leave them with an unforgettable memory. After hearing Lyn Ran's rejection, the sunny smile on Xu Sheng's face did not lose a bit, but became even brighter. Okay, Brother Lyn, you are indeed the man I like, so crazy. But please keep this business card first. If you have such an idea then, you can contact me at any time. And even if we can't be family in the future, it would be good to be friends. I, Xu Sheng, can definitely make friends like Brother Lyn, and I will be proud of myself. With that said, Xu Sheng forced the business card into Lyn Ran's arms, then hugged him and turned around to leave. Lyn Ran looked at the heavy black gold business card in his hand with a dumbfounded look. Okay, the value of his business card is probably not much more precious than many people's bank cards. Luo Chinyan's face showed some slight disappointment. So, why did you reject him? Wouldn't it be great to be associated with such a wealthy family? Lyn Ran rolled his eyes. Do you think this outsider's head is so easy to be? The benefits of his Jiangdong Xu family are so easy to get. As the saying goes, the greater the ability, the greater the responsibility. If you don't show your value to the family, they will definitely abandon you like worn shoes. Why don't we just be two free and happy rangers? Do we have to join the family and work hard to death? I don't want to be such a cow. Luo Chinyan opened her mouth. But, the words came to his lips, but he changed his mouth again. Huh, you're not dissatisfied with some of the terms he said, are you? As he spoke, he pinched Lyn Ran's thigh. Lyn Ran almost spit out a mouthful of water. What are you talking about? How is it possible? Luo Chinyan's pretty face relaxed. HMPH, that's good. It's best not to let me find out what little tricks you are doing, otherwise. After saying that, Luo Chinyan used her hand as a knife and made two gestures towards Lyn Ran's crotch. Lyn Ran rolled his eyes and stopped answering Luo Chinan's words. Time passed quickly, and before long, the time came to 9:40. More than 100 special admissions students have almost arrived. At this time, the conference room was full of people. Everyone is chatting with old acquaintances or people who seem to be more speculative. After all, this group of people are all geniuses with unlimited future potential. They have many friends and many paths. It is very necessary to establish good relationships with others in advance. Only Lyn Ran's side was slightly deserted. Since Xu Sheng left, there was no one else but Luo Chinan. It seems that they are indeed hostile to me. Lyn Ran sighed. Normally, not to mention a sea of people near a top scholar like myself, there should be an endless stream of people. Who allows himself to be too popular and at the same time powerless? At this moment, the door of the conference room was opened again. Those who walked in were a cold woman with short black hair, a mysterious man wearing a visor, and a tall man with a strong body. Feeling the faint coercion on their bodies, the students present shut their mouths one after another. The rightful owner is here. Watching these three people walking up to the podium, the students secretly speculated on their identities. But for Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan, they are already very familiar. Aren't these Ling Shangqing, the director of the White Tiger Department, Gao Xian, the director of the Suzaku Department, and Xu Lei, the director of the Xuanwu Department? But before Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan could react, two more black figures flashed over from the door, and they sat down next to Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan very quickly. The long-haired man and the green-haired woman. Well, Lu Chufeng, the head of the Kirin Department, and Lin Miao, the head of the Qinglong Department, are here too. This special admissions meeting was quite loud. Lu Chufeng saw Lyn Ran open his mouth, obviously intending to greet him and Lin Miao, so he quickly came up and covered his mouth. Shish, don't talk. We came here secretly. Just pretend we don't exist. Lyn Ran was a little dumbfounded. He didn't know what these two people were doing here, so he could only keep his mouth shut for now. However, the deceitful actions made by Lu Chufeng and Lin Miao were of no use at all. Whether it was the three people on the stage or the more than 100 special admission students in the audience, they still saw the two of them. The faces of Ling Shangqing, Gao Xian and Xu Lei turned dark. The two old foxes said that they would not come, but they forced themselves in and ran to sit with Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan. But now in front of so many people, it is definitely not easy to kick them out. As for the special admission number 100 below, I am curious about their identities. Ling Shangqing on the stage took a look at his biochip and said, "It's already 9:55. In order not to waste everyone's time, let's start the meeting directly. From now on, the door of the conference room will be closed, and those who arrive later do not need to come in. Let me introduce myself first. I am one of the department heads of the 5 major departments at Yanyan University in Qingjing. I am Ling Shangqing, the head of the White Tiger Department. These two are Gao Xian, the director of the Suzaku Department, and Xu Lei, the director of the Xuanwu Department. Today's meeting will be hosted by us. We have a total of 107 special enrollment students in this batch, and today we actually have 104 students. Everyone, please introduce yourself in the order of your student ID. Let's start with Lyn Ran, who has greatly broken the dungeon record, is the first person in the college entrance examination so far, and is the top scorer in this year's college entrance examination. After saying that, Ling Shangqing's always cold face finally squeezed out a smile and glanced at Lyn Ran, who was sitting in the last row. Lyn Ran stood up with a wry smile. He finally understood that among the 5 department heads of Yanyan University, except for the clever Lu Chufeng and Lin Miao, the remaining 3 were relatively dull beings. Ling's sad words were indeed well-intentioned, but she had no idea how much hatred such a heavyweight adjective could bring to her. However, Lyn Ran did not say that he was afraid, but stood up generously and showed a peaceful smile to everyone present. Lyn Ran, SS level natural spirit body, first level awakener, student number 001. After saying that, Lyn Ran sat down again. His introduction was quite brief, but it was very impactful. Discussions immediately started in the conference room. One was dissatisfaction with Lyn Ran for not introducing his bloodline ability, and the other was dissatisfaction with Lyn Ran's emphasis on student number 001. He's not ready to reveal his bloodline yet, is he? Everyone knows that he actually relies on this bloodline to fight. Without bloodline, he is just a sandbag, and he continues to hide it. It's disgusting. What's so great about 001? It's just a tragedy behind exam-oriented education. Haha, I'm afraid if no one explains the question to him, I don't think he can even come to Yanyan University. When the freshman competition is held in a month, someone will be revealed, haha. Quote. These people were used to being domineering, and they had no intention of concealing their hostility towards Lyn Ran. This is true even in front of the head of the department. Ling Shengqing's face clearly showed displeasure, and an extremely powerful killing force swept across the entire conference room in an instant. This cold and suffocating murderous aura immediately changed the expressions of all those who were pressing Lai just now. Ling sneered sadly. This is Yanyan University, not your family property. Please obey the rules honestly, otherwise, hee. Let me introduce myself again. Ling Shengqing, SSS level talented soul of killing, 8th level awakener, director of the White Tiger Department. Suddenly, all the remaining students felt like they were being strangled by the neck, unable to speak a word. Seeing the performance of the students, Ling Shengqing nodded with satisfaction and winked at Luo Chinan, indicating for her to continue. Luo Chinan stood up and smiled slightly. Luo Chinan, SSS level talented holy angel, 1st level awakener, student number 002. Because of her beautiful appearance, Luo Chinan did not receive much hostility. The ones with the wrong expressions were basically the dozen or so female students among the 100 people. It can only be said that the object of people's jealousy is often the same gender. Since Luo Chinan also maintained Lyn Ran's introduction format, everyone below basically followed the same format. Lu Yuan, SSS level talent Howling Tide, 1st level awakener, student number 003. Lan Ruaoqiu, SSS level talent, Broken Bones, 1st level awakener, student number 004. Qin Tian, SSS level talent Silver Moonlight, 1st level awakener, student number 005. Quote. It has to be said that the special admissions students of Yanyan University this year are really very valuable. Within the top 20, except for Lyn Ran, who is somewhat out of place at the top of the list, they are basically all owners of SSS level talents. The last 80 were a mixture of SSS and SS, and there wasn't even an S class among them. After all, this is the top 1 university in Dragon Kingdom, and the minimum standards for admissions are A-level talent and supermodel B-level talent. As higher quality special admissions students, this is naturally even more exaggerated. Geniuses from dozens of provinces across the country and from all over the world are all famous in their respective provinces and cities. But after coming to Yanyan University, he seemed a bit mediocre. At least within the same stage, there are 100 people who can compare with you, not to mention some students at a higher stage. As the introduction progressed, Ling Shengqing, Gao Xian and Xu Lei were all quite satisfied when they saw the expressions of the geniuses present turned into surprise, shock, and finally numbness. Let everyone realize that there are people outside the world, and there is a sky outside the world. This is an extremely important item of this meeting. There are many people there who are not necessarily inferior in strength, but who made mistakes in the college entrance examination, which caused their temporary ranking to be low. Many SSS level talents that look particularly strong are not ranked as well as some SS level talents. The entire ranking will be reshuffled in the freshman exam 1 month later. They will naturally feel great pressure. After all, no one wants to see their rankings drop in the future, and everyone present is a genius. If you don't want to be surpassed, you have to work harder. Okay, everyone has finished introducing themselves. Let me tell you something else. At this time, Gao Xian stepped forward and said to everyone with a smile. Perhaps because of the mask he wore, Gao Xian looked much kinder than Ling Shang, who always showed off his imposing manner, and the faces of the students also looked much better. I believe you all already know a lot about the ranking mechanism. The basic credit award when you enter the school, the monthly subsidy award, or the benefits you can enjoy later are all related to this. Ranking is related to strength. The stronger the strength, the higher the ranking will naturally be. But some of you must feel that relying on only one college entrance examination to determine the outcome is a bit sloppy. After all, the dungeon thing involves adaptability issues, so some people will be unconvinced. It doesn't matter, you all know that there will be a freshman exam in a month. The freshman exam is extremely comprehensive, so there is no need to worry about it. You will know when the time comes. Hearing this, many people's eyes also lit up. If it is comprehensive, it will definitely be a good thing for people who think they have hard power. At this time Xu Lei also opened his mouth. That's right. And fighting and competition are encouraged in the school. If you want to add some jackpot betting or something, the school will allow it if the amount is reasonable and there is no coercion involved. You can completely let go of your hands and feet when fighting. As long as it doesn't cause death or cause fatal disability, our professional doctors will help you handle it properly. Of course, with our professional notaries here, unless special means are used, it will be difficult for you to cause death. However, the procedures and methods must be formal, and the duel can only be conducted in an upright manner. Private fights are strictly prohibited in the school. If anyone is found to be intentionally fighting privately, he will be expelled immediately and will never be hired. After listening to Xu Lei's words, all the students nodded and secretly wrote down the rules. Ling Shengqing still maintained her cold tone. In addition to the basic monthly credit subsidy, you can also go to the task hall to take on tasks in exchange for credit rewards. But remember, the vast majority of mission locations are in secret and forbidden areas outside the school, and the degree of danger is immeasurable. You must pay attention to reasonably evaluate your own strength and make adequate preparations for protection. There are countless geniuses who have high hopes but fall early every year. Seeing everyone's serious expressions, Ling Shengqing smiled softly. But that doesn't mean the school doesn't encourage you to go out. The purpose of Longguo and Yanyan University in devoting resources to training you is to fully train and grow you. An actual combat is an indispensable part of it. If you feel that the outside world is too dangerous, you can start inside the school first. There are many artificial copies in the school. As long as you can pass the level, you can get the first pass reward issued by the school. Although the rewards are limited to everyone's first pass, experience can be honed infinitely. You can also get credit rewards for taking courses on a regular basis. Freshmen, you don't have to be in a hurry to go out. You can wait until your sophomore year when you are stronger before setting off. But starting from my sophomore year, there will be indicators that I have to go out and perform tasks every year. I hope you guys understand this. After listening to Ling Shengqing's words, Lyn Ran also nodded secretly. However, he is different from those people. With Kamui space as a means of survival, it would be too difficult for him to die. It's not like you can't break into dangerous places. The big deal is just hiding in Kamui space and not coming out. What's the big deal? It can only be said that the training system of Qingjing Yanyan University is really quite complete. There are credits, resources, tasks, rankings, and actual combat. All these together form a rigorous and fair training system. As long as you can spend your entire college career completely and fully, you will definitely be able to cultivate top talents. Later, the three people talked about different aspects of basic school knowledge and what to pay attention to when staying at Yanda. As for Lu Chufeng and Lin Miao, they were chatting with Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan in the back row, making fun and laughing without any formality. Although the sound is not loud, it can attract some attention. The two of them attracted many glances from others, who kept speculating on their specific identities without daring to make any comment. Because since Lu Chufeng and Lin Miao cannot see their student IDs and other student information, it proves that they should be faculty members. It would be bad if he casually offends someone. The entire special admissions meeting lasted until nearly 12 o'clock in the afternoon before it came to an end. Finally, Ling Shengqing coughed lightly and concluded. Then we'll end the special admissions meeting here. Today is June 25, 3077, which is also the first day of official registration for your special enrollment. The remaining ordinary students will register on July 25. Your student number is also related to the registration time. At the same time, it is also a symbol that you are different from other students. After the regular students have registered, the freshman competition will begin. The gold-level magic equipment and treasures of heaven and earth promised to you by the school during the special recruitment will also be distributed at that time. Strictly speaking, this month is actually holiday time. The reason why I called you here in advance is so that you can adapt to school faster and enter the cultivation state faster. So I hope you will work harder during this month to enhance your strength. Otherwise, it would be a big joke if, 1 month later, we were pushed down from the high rankings by ordinary students. After listening to Ling's sad words, the students present all showed confident expressions. As the proud ones who were specially recruited, each of them has his or her own pride. Ordinary students want to surpass them, at least in their opinion, it is purely wishful thinking. Okay, the meeting is over. The meeting is over. Xu Lei waved his hand, indicating to the students present that they could leave. At the same time, the door that he had just sealed with magic also opened. Behind the door, 3 students with earth-colored faces were standing. They were the 3 special admissions students who were late. Since they were late and couldn't get in, they didn't dare to leave directly, so they had to wait outside the door. However, it was obvious that no one would re-explain the content of the meeting to these 3 people. The same was true for the 5 department chairs. Lu Chufeng and Lin Miao behind them were all ready to get up and leave after saying goodbye to Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan. At this moment, a discordant voice suddenly came. I have long heard of Brother Lyn Ran's great reputation. As the top scorer in the college entrance examination, I don't use my own natural abilities, but rely on my bloodline to conquer all the enemies in the dungeon. Besides, being familiar with the dungeon is abnormal. It's like having your eyes open. So powerful, I hope Brother Lyn can teach me something. Everyone present was shocked, and then a group of voices fearing that the world would be in chaos began to sound. Oh, it seems like the big one is coming. Yes, listening to the clamoring tone, could it be that the department heads have just finished explaining the rules and he is ready to fight with Lyn Ran? Haha, Lyn Ran won't be able to bear this yin and yang. He will be roasted with black flames. But Lyn Ran's bloodline ability is not empty. He can instantly kill the Frost Zombie King's black flame. How is he really prepared to deal with it? Whatever, as long as we can start a fight, there will be fun. Quote. There is a saying that watching the excitement is not too big a deal. Everyone who was about to disperse suddenly became energetic. They all found their seats again and looked towards the source of the sound in high spirits. Even the 3 latecomers who didn't know their situation stopped and started watching the show with interest. Lyn Ran, who was about to pull Luo Chinan away, was also slightly startled and glanced at the visitor with malicious intent. In the front row of the conference room, a burly man who seemed to be nearly 2 meters tall was staring at him with a disdainful smile. After noticing Lyn Ran's gaze, the big man pressed his fists against each other loudly. Xiao Shong, SS-level talented bloodthirsty bear, student number 026. I have admired Brother Lyn for a long time, and I ask Brother Lyn not to refuse. Otherwise, I will be very sad. Xiao Shong did not hide the arrogance in his eyes at all, as if he did not take Lyn Ran into consideration. Hiss, it's actually Xiao Shong. His bloodthirsty bear talent is known as the nemesis of all human shields. Yes, after all, the powerful claw attack that comes with the talent is said to be able to cause a percentage of tearing bleeding damage. Then how is he going to fight against Lyn Ran's mysterious black flame? You don't know something about this. The bloodthirsty bear's vitality is extremely strong, and at the same time, the lower its vitality, the stronger its attack power. Xiao Shong must be planning to hit Lyn Ran with the black flames directly after the black flames fall on him, and defeat Lyn Ran first. This. Yes, and another thing is that the bloodthirsty bear can absorb the health of the attacked target through attack. After previous research by experts, Lyn Ran's black flames mainly burn his vitality. As long as his attack is fast enough, he can take down Lyn Ran before he falls to the black flames. Then hearing what you say, isn't Lyn Ran in trouble? Quote. Bloodthirsty bear is indeed a very powerful offensive talent. The main disadvantage is that during battle, the bloodthirsty desire will gradually eat away at the mind and weaken one's mental strength. If you are not determined, you will easily get lost. Otherwise, it is a proper SSS level talent. In addition, Xiao Shong, who is nearly 2 meters tall, still has a sense of physical oppression against Lyn Ran, who is 1.8 meters tall. It's hard not to naturally look at him well. Hearing that everyone nearby recognized him, Xiao Shong's smile became even crazier. While smiling, He also showed off his biceps in a pretentious way towards Luo Chinan, who was next to Lyn Ran, almost making Luo Chinan vomit. Seeing Luo Chinan's disgusted face and her deliberately averted eyes, Xiao Shong couldn't help but darken his face and pointed his angry face at Lyn Ran beside him. Among this freshman, Luo Chinan's popularity is undoubtedly high. Beautiful appearance, perfect figure, SSS-level talent, and no trouble caused by the trivial family behind her. He is simply the perfect spouse in the minds of countless people. The only pity is that there is a big trouble around Luo Chinan. It was Lyn Ran who had numerous scandals with her. This also makes Lyn Ran so jealous that countless people hate him. Tall and handsome, with strong talent and blood, and a divine companion, Luo Chinan, who keeps him company every day. Just thinking about it makes me want to vomit blood. Just when Lyn Ran introduced himself, if looks could kill, Lyn Ran would have been riddled with wounds. At this time, Xiao Shong also took the frustration he had just received from Luo Chinan and directed his anger at Lyn Ran. Looking at Xiao Shong, who was glaring at him, Lyn Ran smiled indifferently. Just now, the department heads also said that we at Yanda encourage discussion. In this case, it wouldn't be a bad idea to compare notes. It's just that it would be boring if there was no luck. Xiao Shong's smile became a little deeper. You want to make a bet? Yes, just ask. Lyn Ran narrowed his eyes slightly. I heard that for those of you ranked between 21 and 30, the basic credits subsidized by the school should be a full 650 points. Well, I don't want to kill them all, so let's bet 500 credits. I'll leave you 150 credits. If you pay attention to saving, it should be enough. After listening to Lyn Ran's words, Xiao Shong's smile froze. He didn't expect that Lyn Ran would dare to play such a big game, and just do it for 500 points. This is a full 500 points. If he only received subsidies every month, at his rate of 65 points a month, it would take nearly 8 months. This bet is really too heroic. As for the reason why Lyn Ran did this, it was mainly to make these challengers quit. If you don't hit them all at once, they will be like annoying flies, buzzing in your ears. 500 credits. Xiao Shong's expression suddenly became much more serious. Looking at Lyn Ran's peaceful smile, he suddenly felt a little unsure. Seeing the hesitation on Xiao Shong's face, Lyn Ran sighed. Sure enough, dogs that bark more often don't bite. Chinan, let's go. With that said, he pulled Luo Chinan away. Being so aroused by Lyn Ran, Xiao Shong's face suddenly turned red. Wait, 500 credits is 500 credits. Aren't you afraid of you? Bring it on. Being so humiliated by Lyn Ran, Xiao Shong felt that if he let Lyn Ran go today, he would not have to hang out in the entire special enrollment circle in the future. Lyn Ran nodded with satisfaction. Bring it here. What? Let's find a notary. No need. We're here. At this time, Lu Chufeng and Lin Miao, who had been watching the excitement for a long time, emerged from nowhere and waved to them. Lu Chufeng continued. Let me introduce myself first. I am Lu Chufeng, the head of the Qilin department of Yanyan University. This is Lin Miao, the head of the Qinglong department. With the two of us, plus the 3 on the stage, there must be enough notaries. Wow, the people watching were in an uproar. They never expected that the 2 people who had just been sitting and laughing with Lyn Ran were actually the 2 remaining department heads in the school. No wonder he turned a blind eye to Ling's sadness on stage. Hearing what Lu Chufeng said, Xiao Shong's face became even more ugly. Why do the heads of these 2 departments have such a close relationship with Lyn Ran? Could it be that Lyn Ran really has some big tricks up his sleeve? Is it worth recruiting them in advance before the freshman competition? But now the arrow is on the string and it has to be fired. Xiao Shong took a deep breath and said in a deep voice. Come on then. Gao Xian smiled slightly, raised his hands to the sky, and all the tables and chairs in the conference room immediately flew to the sky. Then, a circular arena appeared in the middle. Gao Xian smiled and said. Here, each of you will transfer 500 credits to me first, and I will keep them for you. The 2 of you will decide the winner inside the ring. The radius of 25 meters is enough for you to fight. But after all, we have the friendship of classmates, so it's better not to make the opponent look too bad. Otherwise it will hurt your face. When Gao Xian said this, he looked at Lyn Ran. However, looking at the winking look on his face, he almost told Lyn Ran to beat him to death. Xiao Shong, who felt slighted again, stepped into the ring with an angry roar after transferring the credits, and clenched his fists towards Lyn Ran. Lyn Ran followed closely and stepped into the ring, straightening his expression slightly. Xu Shang next to him was also staring at the two of them closely. His student number is ranked 14th, which is much higher than Xiao Shong. But when facing Xiao Shong's gaze, his heart was inevitably a little beat up. The talent of the bloodthirsty bear is indeed unique in its own way. So, the main method of black fire may not be effective, and his own physical strength is restrained. How will Lyn Ran fight this battle? If it were you, what kind of tactics would you adopt? However, the 5 department heads standing nearby seemed to be more optimistic about Lyn Ran. Luo Chinan, on the other hand, was also a war-mad person. Looking at the two people on the stage, she kept waving her little fists excitedly, and she wished she was the one standing on the stage. However, her holy angel talent, even among all SSS-level talents, is the most pervert. What's more, Holy Angel has a hexagonal bucket talent. He would lose face if he loses to a woman, and no one wants to test his skills. Lyn Ran looked at Xiao Shong, who was already on the court and was ready to go, and casually twisted his neck. You just said you wanted me to teach you something, so I will only teach you something. Within 2 moves, if you can still stand on the field, I'll count it as my defeat. Xiao Shong's face was filled with anger because of his excessive anger. I saw him grinning ferociously. Good, very good, excellent. I hope you can still have this kind of grace when I catch Howl. Seeing Xiao Shong's burly and powerful figure, everyone in the audience was talking about it. Guigi, it seems that Xiao Shong must weigh at least 200 pounds. That's necessary. He's over 2 meters tall and his waistline is so exaggerated. 200 pounds is considered small. Actually, Lyn Ran is 1.8 meters tall. He is handsome and has well-defined tendons on his body. He is quite capable. But I never expected that the black bear on the other side would look like a spirit. Lin Miao, who was in charge of hosting, saw that Lyn Ran and Xiao Shong were both ready, so she walked between them and waved twice with her arms. I'll count to 3, 2, 1, and you can start. As long as I, the 8th level Holy Light Angel, are here, you can fight as you please. As long as you don't use any secret techniques like self-destruction, there is room for rescue. If something feels wrong, stop it immediately. Being unconscious for 10 seconds will also result in a loss. Okay, get ready to start. 3, 2, 1. Start. The moment Lin Miao finished speaking and stepped back, Xiao Shong roared, and his whole body was covered with a faint blood color. The 2 palms swelled into black claws, and he rushed towards Lyn Ran with a single step. In Xiao Shong's field of vision, he was able to learn through the college entrance examination video that the mysterious black flame energy mastered by Lyn Ran could be used without physical contact. So that thing will fall on his head at any time, and then he will have to fight with the black flames. In order to prevent falling into that passive situation, we can only make a quick decision. So fast, I'm afraid Lyn Ran won't be able to keep up with this explosive speed. Indeed, judging from the college entrance examination video, Lyn Ran's speed is not his specialty, and he is likely to be at a disadvantage. Oh, is Lyn Ran really going to lose? At the thought of this possibility, many onlookers became excited. If Xiao Shong can win Lyn Ran, then Lyn Ran, the top scorer in the college entrance examination, will really have a name that is not worthy of his name. In that case, the myth of the college entrance examination record he created will immediately collapse. Moreover, it can also be confirmed that Lyn Ran has high scores and low energy. But why did Lyn Ran's eyes turn red? The black and red eyes are exactly the same as those in the college entrance examination copy. But why is he standing still? You can't be scared out of your wits, right? At the intersection of everyone's doubtful glances, Lyn Ran stood quietly. In the eyes of others, Xiao Shong is as fast as lightning, but under Sharingan, his speed is quite staggering. The reason why Lyn Ran didn't move was to test a skill that he hadn't had the chance to use so far. Tsukuyomi. The Magatama in Lyn Ran Sharingan rotated crazily, completely locking Xiao Shong in an instant. Seeing that Xiao Shong's sharp claws were about to catch Lyn Ran's head, his movements suddenly froze. At the same time, there was unspeakable fear and panic in his eyes. Even under this extreme fear, his whole body was shaking uncontrollably. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Not to mention the remaining 100 special admission students, even the well-informed deans of the 5th department were a little dumbfounded. Psychic attack. Lu Chufeng immediately thought of this possibility. King Yongyi's bloodline ability is indeed relatively good at this thing. But the effect should be similar to a mental shock, and it should be over in an instant. I have never heard of someone being able to immobilize someone. And looking at Xiao Shong's broken mental state, it was obvious that he was going through something extremely scary. Could it be an illusion? Lu Chufeng was puzzled. But the illusions in this world can only be accomplished with the help of countless special props, coupled with lengthy foreplay and scene layout. Lyn Ran had no environment, no props, and no foreplay. It was impossible for Lyn Ran to drag Xiao Shong into the fantasy world, right? He didn't know, and the remaining 4 people didn't know either. They only thought that Lyn Ran used the talent of Lord of the Night and the special effects that came with it to immobilize Xiao Shong. But Xiao Shong's perspective is different from all of them. What Xiao Shong could see was the endless abyss of blood. He was in the abyss, and a large number of corpses and dead souls were rushing towards him crazily. Even though he pushed his talent of bloodthirsty bear to its limit, he still couldn't withstand the onslaught from all over the mountains and plains. Not long after, numerous cuts were made on his body. As for Lyn Ran, he was like a ghost, floating quietly in the air, staring at him. Lyn Ran chuckled. Is this the absolute illusion created by Tsukuyomi? It's really pervert. For a being with a weak spiritual level like Xiao Shong, the spiritual world was completely controlled by him, and there was no room for improvement. And you must know that Tsukuyomi is completely different from ordinary illusions. The damage he causes in the illusion world can be reflected in the real world. As a result, the spectators outside the venue were horrified to find that wounds and scratches were constantly appearing on Xiao Shong's body. But Lyn Ran, his opponent, just stared at him quietly with his black and red eyes open. Both of them were motionless. But Lyn Ran had a calm smile, but Xiao Shong was almost completely immersed in boundless fear, unable to extricate himself for a long time. The only things that have changed are the magatama spinning in Lyn Ran's eyes and the wounds that appear one after another on Xiao Shong's body. Seeing this strange scene, the countless onlookers couldn't help but shudder and their scalps began to feel numb. Even the 5 department heads who were watching were seeing this scene for the first time. Their expressions were quite serious and they didn't know whether to interrupt the duel. Judging from the scene, Lyn Ran has a huge advantage. Although I don't know how he did it, it is indeed the case. However, Xiao Shong has not completely given up the struggle now. If they interrupt rashly and Xiao Shong suddenly starts moving, who will it be? Just as the 5 people were entangled, changes occurred in the world of Tsukuyomi. Lyn Ran seems to be a little tired of this endless torture and consumption. It can only be said that the bloodthirsty bear has indeed lived up to the title of the strongest killing talent in the SS class. He has killed countless skeletons and dead souls here, and he is still waving his claws tirelessly. Judging from Xiao Shongyi's crazy resistance, it would probably take several minutes to completely bring him down. In this case, Lyn Ran waved his hand, and countless skeletons and wreckage merged into a nearly 3-meter-tall skeleton Gundam. Before the frightened Xiao Shong could react, the skeleton Gundam burst out and pierced Xiao Shong's abdomen with a bone spear. This powerful and heavy blow can be said to have directly penetrated Xiao Shong's defense. Coupled with the mental shock he had been experiencing in the world of Tsukuyomi, he fell directly into a severe coma. In the outside world, Xiao Shong suddenly had a hole in his abdomen when he was in a daze, and then fell backward and fell unconscious. Lyn Ran also cancelled Tsukuyomi at this time. If he continues, this Xiao Shong may be shocked into a fool. Lyn Ran, whose eyes returned to their original color, looked at Xiao Shong lying on the ground, spread his hands and smiled. Brother Xiao is really a bit inexperienced. Originally I wanted to teach you 2 moves, but why is it only the first move and it's already gone? Well, this should be enough to count me as the winner, right? Lin Miao finally reacted at this time and said as if waking up from a dream. You win. You win. Brother Xian, please transfer the credits to Lyn Ran. As he spoke, a soft holy light emerged from Lin Miao's hand, first wrapping Xiao Shong in it and slowly healing his injuries. Gao Xian nodded. After using the biochip for a while, Lyn Ran received the news that he had credited 1,000 credits. At present, his total number of credits has reached 1,500. As for the remaining 100 or so special recruits, they no longer knew what kind of expressions they should use to face Lyn Ran. This sensational method was too terrifying, and they could only be glad that it was not them who stepped forward to challenge Lyn Ran. Otherwise, not only will I lose 500 credits, but I will also fall into a state of mental breakdown. If Xiao Shong had been defeated head-on by Lyn Ran, they might not be so afraid. But this obviously involves the existence of mental power and even soul power, and no one can guarantee that they can survive alone. So strong, so penetrating, so scary. Is this one of his bloodline abilities? It's too pervert. Why haven't we seen him use this move in the college entrance exam dungeon? He couldn't have retained his strength in the college entrance exam dungeon, right? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. If he can get first place while retaining his strength and break the record by a large margin, then who are we? Quote. No one answered him, but everyone already had the answer in their hearts. Moreover, judging from the heavy expressions on everyone's faces, this answer probably did not satisfy them. Lyn Ran's powerful cutting power attached to the weapon, the mysterious black flame that defeated the Frost Zombie King in a short time, plus the terrifying method similar to mind control shown today. It's all chilling. The most outrageous part is that many people have almost forgotten that Lyn Ran should actually be a human shield. The vitality and recovery speed given to him by the natural spirit body are far beyond that of ordinary people, turning him into a being capable of both offense and defense. Normally, an awakened person like Lyn Ran, who is extremely aggressive and relies mainly on mental power, would be relatively weak defensively. I am particularly afraid of being attacked by assassins and explosive talents, and I am also afraid of getting close to warriors and cutting-edge talents. But the natural spirit completely made up for Lyn Ran's disadvantages. If you want to defeat Lyn Ran, you may have to rely on a protracted battle to slowly drag him down until he is out of mana, and then find a way to defeat him. Unfortunately, they didn't know that the orange soul ring in Lyn Ran's hand could provide nearly 1% mana recovery per second. Otherwise, he would definitely vomit blood on the spot. Lyn Ran didn't want to accompany them to do anything here, so he smiled and pulled Luo Chinan, who was stunned. Come on, it's time, let's go eat. Luo Chinan rubbed her face and followed Lyn Ran out of the conference room. In fact, in her heart, she was constantly muttering, wondering why Lyn Ran was so strong. Although when Lyn Ran accepted Xiao Shong's challenge and put out 500 points as a bet, he had already guessed that Lyn Ran would basically not lose. After all, Lyn Ran is a very cautious person. If it is a dangerous thing and he is not sure of it, he will hardly do it. But Luo Chinan never expected that Lyn Ran would win so easily. But no matter how Lyn Ran obtained this mysterious and terrifying power, it's always a good thing that he can become stronger. After understanding this, Luo Chinan felt relieved and ran happily behind Lyn Ran. Seeing the excitement, they also finished watching. Except for Xiao Shong, who was protected by Lyn Miao's holy light and unable to move, everyone else also walked out of the conference room. However, Lyn Miao and the others did not leave. Instead, after Gao Xian returned the tables and chairs in the sky, they closed the door again and sat down to discuss. Xu Lei spoke first. Is this also the ability of King Yongye's bloodline? Lu Chufeng sighed. The bloodline of King Yongye does have some means of mental attack. But it shouldn't be possible to have such a weird effect, right? The ability to immobilize people and then add wounds out of thin air. Why do I feel like the effect can only be achieved by the blood of the phantom demon? Lyn Miao laughed. So, do you still remember your promise? Lu Chufeng was confused. Promise? What promise? Lyn Miao imitated Lu Chufeng's voice and said, let's just say I'm jumping to judgment here. If this boy named Lyn Ran is not of the blood of King Yongye, I will perform a handstand spin to wash my hair in front of everyone. Strong enough, huh? Lu Chufeng's old face immediately tilted. However, this is just further speculation on my part. Actually speaking, the bloodline ability of Lord Yongye is more likely. After all, things like black flames and red pupils are too iconic. Perhaps it is Lyn Ran who is extremely talented and has further developed the talent of King Yang Yi. Lin Miao chuckled. Then anyway, I'll record your handstand shampoo here for you first, so don't even think about defaulting on the payment. So, what are we going to do next? Just ask Lyn Ran what his bloodline ability is. Ling Shengqing glanced at Lin Miao like an idiot. Don't you think you're being ridiculously stupid for doing this? Thank you for opening your mouth and saying it. Ask directly. Will Lyn Ran tell you? Even if you say it, it's probably just prevarication and perfunctory. It's absolutely impossible to be the truth. Gao Xian suddenly laughed. I have a good idea. The reason why we are not accurate in judging Lyn Ran's bloodline is because our understanding of him is still too shallow. So, if we arrange a stronger opponent for him. The only bad thing is that the boss has to bleed again. But if you cultivate such a genius, the boss will definitely not feel bad about it. With that, Gao Xian told him his plan. After listening, Lu Chufeng nodded with satisfaction. Okay, Lao Gao, you're really okay with this. In this way, maybe Luo Chinan can show off the mysterious dark power in her body. Xu Lei also smiled. Yes, the reward comes from the boss anyway. It shouldn't matter that he thinks so highly of these two people. Ling Shengqing also stretched out. Let's go then. Everyone will leave after eating in a while. If we try to find it again, we may not be able to find it. After Lyn Ran came out of the conference room with Luo Chinan, he always looked thoughtful. Although Luo Chinan looked a little strange, she thought that Lyn Ran might be reviewing the battle just now in her mind, so she didn't say anything more. But just when the two of them turned into a remote corridor with no one else around, Lyn Ran suddenly stopped. Luo Chinan was slightly startled. How? Before she could say the third word, Lyn Ran suddenly turned her head and pushed Luo Chinan against the wall. After that, Lyn Ran kept moving his face closer to him. As the distance got closer, both of them could feel each other's breath. Luo Chinan was suddenly startled, her pretty face flushed red from anxiety and embarrassment, and she scolded. Oh, what are you doing? Even if you want Miss Baidongban, can't you find a better place? Before she finished speaking, Luo Chinan saw that Lyn Ran's eyes had changed to the same color as when she fought with Xiao Shong before, black and red. And among them, there are several magatama that are intertwined and rotate slowly. Two completely different forces immediately surged out of Lyn Ran's pupils and penetrated into Luo Chinyan's eyes. The left eye is hot and the right eye is cold. Afterwards, Lyn Ran smiled proudly. This move is called transfer seal. I have sealed two pupil techniques, one on the left and one on the right, in your eyes. As long as the conditions are met, the pupil technique will be activated automatically. Considering that the two of us may be in trouble in the future, I made plans first. In this way, even if you encounter a life or death crisis, my pupil technique can forcefully protect you. After Luo Chinyan listened, she kept humming in a low voice, but she didn't say a word. After all, the two people's positions at this time were slightly staggered. Luo Chinyan was so forcefully forced in front of Lyn Ran's face, feeling his hot breath, that she became very distracted. Even the bones were a little numb, and he was almost unsteady. As for Lyn Ran, after smelling Luo Chinyan's elegant and sweet body fragrance one after another, he couldn't help but swallow his saliva and involuntarily brought his face closer to her. At this moment, the five hot-tempered department heads chased the two and arrived at the corner of the corridor and saw this ambiguous scene. Cough 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 cough. The five people suddenly felt awkward. They came at the wrong time, so why did they crash into the love scene of a young couple? Lyn Ran and Luo Chinyan also fell into a trance at this time, dispersed, coughed twice, and adjusted themselves. Lu Chufeng first rubbed his hands in embarrassment, and then said, "Ah, what? Shaoran still has Chinyan. The five of us are here. We have something to discuss with you." Lyn Ran was the first to adjust. His expression returned to normal. He took a deep breath and smiled. "What's up, Gao Shandao? Let me explain it in detail. It's like this. When we came to recruit you, didn't we agree that we would give each of you a year? Provide 10 gold level magic equipment and heavenly materials and earthly treasures, and 1 platinum level magic equipment and heavenly materials and earthly treasures. Now, there is an opportunity to upgrade the rewards to 3 platinum level magic equipment and 3 heavenly materials and earthly treasures. I wonder if you are willing." Oh, Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan were both moved. This is really a big improvement. Although when calculating the value, 5 gold level magic equipment are often compared with 1 platinum level magic equipment. But in actual exchange, no one will exchange it with you. After all, the rarity is there. 1 piece of platinum level magic equipment is rarer than 5 or even 10 pieces of gold level magic equipment. Moreover, in addition to the weapons used, each person can only have at most 7 pieces of magic equipment that can take effect. They are breastplate, shoulder armor, arm armor, leggings, boots, necklace and ring. No matter how much gold level magic equipment you have, you can't possibly wear them all. At this time, Lyn Ran already had breastplate, leggings and necklace on his body. The remaining 4 spots are still vacant. If those 3 positions are filled with platinum level magic equipment, the combat effectiveness will definitely be greatly improved. Moreover, what Yanyan University provides is not fixed equipment, but equipment exchange coupons. Being able to freely choose the equipment that suits you best from the National Treasury or Yan University's storage is even more valuable. Not to mention the treasures of heaven and earth, the attribute bonuses provided by a platinum level are almost 7 or 8 gold levels. It can be said that no matter how you look at it, it is a sure profit deal. And these rewards they promised can be obtained as soon as the school officially starts. You can definitely shine in the freshman competition soon. So, how to upgrade the reward? Lyn Ran asked. Seeing the 2 people's movements, Xiao Shong smiled slightly. Our conditions are also very simple, that is, we need you to fight a one-on-one match. And in this one-on-one duel, we must try our best to do our best. Don't be afraid, our arena has special equipment. Coupled with the presence of Meow Meow, an 8th level Holy Light Angel, you will not encounter any security problems at all. The only thing is that you have to play wonderfully. If the game is not exciting enough, we will also choose to withhold rewards depending on the situation. The main reason for doing this is because it can provide us with practical materials for future teaching. Secondly, it will also allow us to see clearly what the actual combat effectiveness of you two, the 2 most famous people in this special admissions class, is. And we can publicly promise that the video copyright fees for this battle will belong to you. In the future, whether we are giving teaching handouts, practical analysis, or appreciative video playback, all the Dragon Coin profits will belong to you. So, are these conditions acceptable? Xiao Shong's words were quite sincere. The only problem is that in the purpose column, he lied a little. In fact, this was their real purpose in urging the 2 of them to fight one another. Firstly, it was to analyze Lyn Ran's bloodline ability, and secondly, it was to study the dark energy in Luo Chinan's body. As for the reasons he just mentioned, they are all quite minor. Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan looked at each other when they heard this, smiled and nodded together. What's so hard about that? Even if there is no copyright fee, we should make some contribution to Yanda, and that is what we should do. Xiao Shong laughed. Okay, let's go have something to eat together first, and then go to the arena. After they had had enough wine and food, the group of people walked towards the arena in a swaggering manner. I have to say that the food at Yanda is quite good, with all major cuisines available, so it will definitely not turn off your appetite. Moreover, its dishes also have the ability to subtly enhance physical fitness and promote the evolution of talents. The credits spent are also very few. A meal basically only costs 0.01 credits, which is almost enough to feed a strong man. As one of the top universities in China, these things cannot be said. And taking this opportunity to eat, Lyn Ran also saw the true face of Xiao Shong under the mask. Handsome and fair-skinned, even compared to Lyn Ran, he is no less impressive. The only flaw is that she is a bit feminine, not as masculine and heroic as Lyn Ran. This may also be the reason why Xiao Shong always wears a mask. At the same time, Lyn Ran's temperament has also been greatly improved as he develops and awakens his natural spiritual talent. Gradually, a feeling of otherworldliness, naturalness and softness began to pervade my body. Paired with the already outstanding appearance, no matter what angle you look at it, it is quite flawless. In addition, Luo Chinan is beside her, who is enough to put her in a state of shame, and the heads of the 5 departments around her are also good in appearance and temperament. Their group really attracted the attention of passers-by along the way. Not long after, Under the leadership of Gao Xian, they arrived at one of the 4 major arenas in Yan University. This modern arena is in the shape of a huge cylinder, nearly 100 meters high and a full kilometer in diameter. The middle part is hollowed out, providing an open-air platform for students. Under normal circumstances, it is not easy for students to encounter the situation in the conference room with the department chair supervising next to them. Therefore, if they want to engage in sparring, gambling, or grudge battles, they can only go to one of the 4 major arenas. At this time, the arena was already filled with people, with shouts and fighting everywhere. Looking at this group of lively students, Lu Chufeng couldn't help but sigh. This is youth. I think when I was young, it was easy to fight with others. Now that I'm getting older, I'm taking less and less shots. I'm almost gaining weight on my body. Lin Miao snorted. You are too old in your early 30s. You were really shameless. When the 5 of us were classmates, you were so glib. Now that I am getting older, my xingxing has not improved much. I am still like a child. The boss didn't even say he was old. Stop making excuses for your laziness. Lu Chufeng was choked by Lin Miao, so he had to laugh awkwardly and began to talk about him. Lyn Ran captured the key points of their conversation. I really didn't expect that these 5 department heads of Yanyan University are actually classmates, and they are also quite young. In his early 30s, he had the cultivation level of an 8th level awakened person. No matter where he was, he would be at the level of a genius. Gao Xian didn't think as much as they did. He quickly led everyone to an empty arena with familiarity. Just right here, the material of our arena is hard enough, and it is equipped with defensive arrays and virtual technology support. You can rest assured about its safety. And in this arena, we don't need to be the referee. The arena will naturally judge and protect the loser. No need to worry about anything, just come on. Hearing this, Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan nodded seriously, and walked onto the ring with a radius of 50 meters, one on the left and the other on the right. But what they didn't know was that at this time, the sensation was spreading rapidly throughout the entire arena. Did I read that right? What happened? The people who passed by just now are the deans of the 5 major departments of our Yan University. Why are they here in the arena? Could it be that they also want to compete with each other? Maybe it will be a little more exciting, like a gambling fight or something. Jitui, you have to watch this. It's extremely rare for masters to compete with each other. That's right, I saw they were walking towards arena number 117 just now. Let's follow them quickly to see who wants to fight whom. Go, go, go. Quote. So, before Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan started to get ready to warm up, a large group of melon eaters swarmed in and sat in the auditorium of the arena on 3 levels inside and outside. Those who couldn't squeeze in could only use biochips to connect to the arena's network and watch the live broadcast of Arena No. 117. It didn't matter, everyone was surprised. Because the 2 people on the scene were not any 2 heads of the 5 major departments, but 2 strange students. The 5 department heads who caused the whole arena to be in uproar were actually watching the game from their seats. What's even more outrageous is that judging from the information displayed on the 2 people on the court, their student ID numbers actually start with 3077. This also proves that they are the freshmen of this class. A fight between 2 freshmen could actually attract the attention of the heads of the 5 major departments. This couldn't help but make the onlookers even more interested. The freshmen coming now should be special admissions. The fight should be quite fierce. This handsome man and this beautiful woman are from special admissions. Hey, sometimes I can only lament that the gap between people is sometimes even greater than the gap between you. What do you mean? A dog barks like a hammer. Isn't it bigger than the gap between you and me? If they can attract the attention of the heads of the 5 major departments, they must be extremely powerful in the special admissions process. That's for sure. I remembered, this guy is the top pick this year who greatly improved his record. SS level natural spiritual body talent plus mysterious blood possession. Where's the woman? The woman is second on this year's list. SSS level holy angel talent. Guigi, all-star, this is, no wonder the department heads attach so much importance. Xu Lei looked around at the crowded spectator seats and felt a little dumbfounded. It seems that next time we come, we should keep a low profile. Gao Xian waved his hand. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the video of these two fighting will definitely become a classic tutorial for the new students in the future. Now there's nothing wrong with letting these people see it in advance. As for Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan on the court, they are not thinking about it for the time being. Both of them are constantly increasing their momentum, staring at each other closely. At this time, the system prompts from the arena also sounded. Ding! Arena number 117 will start fighting in 10 seconds. Both parties should be prepared in advance. Aha! Lyn Ran immediately activated his Sharingan and lowered his center of gravity slightly, intending to launch a surprise attack as soon as the countdown ended. On Luo Chinan's side, the holy light flashed, and a pair of bright and dazzling angel wings formed behind her back. Not only that, Luo Chinan's temperament also changed a lot. From a pure, cute and sweet school beauty, she turned into a righteous and awe-inspiring goddess of holy light. There is also a little more coldness and aloofness between the eyebrows, and there is a faint trend of sanctification. It was also the first time for Lyn Ran to observe Luo Chinan after developing her talent at such a close distance. Seeing her inviolable cold and arrogant look, Lyn Ran suddenly felt a different kind of impulse in his restless heart today. That is, I want to hug Luo Chinan tightly in my arms, or press her down and ravage her wantonly. The more holy Luo Chinan appears, the more evil his thoughts become. Etc. At this time, the war is approaching, what am I thinking? Lyn Ran shook his head quickly to get rid of these vague thoughts, and then took a deep breath. 3, 2, 1, start. At the moment when the system prompt ended, Luo Chinan, who was 20 meters away from Lyn Ran, used the acceleration of her wings and her feet to rush towards Lyn Ran's face like a golden flash. Moreover, in her hand, she was holding a lightsaber condensed with the power of her own holy light. Holy light cross / Luo Chinan gave a sweet shout and immediately drew a large cross of holy light in the air, covering Lyn Ran's figure. As a holy angel, this is a super powerful explosive method, fast and cruel. The Frost Zombie King, who had been drained by her to about half his health, died under this sword. However, in front of Lyn Ran's Sharingan, this move is a little slow. Lyn Ran smiled slightly, and with the help of his right arm, a bright blue circular light curtain suddenly expanded, covering the entire arena. Room Slaughterhouse. The next moment, the wings, lightsaber, and even the cross of holy light that Luo Chinan was proud of were all cut off by an inexplicable force. However, the energy that was cut off did not dissipate, but was still slowly floating in the air. Question mark, question mark, question mark. As soon as Lyn Ran made this move, not to mention the uninformed onlookers, even the heads of the 5 major departments were dumbfounded. Bullying Complexion stammered. Autumn wind. Is this also the power of Yang Yi? King Yang Yi? Lu Chufeng kept silent, he no longer knew what to say. The students who came to watch the excitement started to exclaim incessantly. This is crazy. Is it really possible for humans to do this? What is this mysterious space? Isn't the offensive method of his bloodline ability black flames? Time power, space power, it seems like neither. You don't know how to use gadgets, but you can cut people's bodies in half, right? Yeah, stop talking, I'm already starting to get scared. Luo Chinan, who was in the space, experienced it more clearly. It's a rather strange feeling. Obviously the energy cut off by Lyn Ran is no longer connected to her, but she can still sense their existence through perception. If I had to make an analogy, it would be like after her body parts were cut off, she was still able to freely manipulate them. This weird power almost gave Luo Chinan goosebumps. She had every reason to suspect that Lyn Ran had released the water instead of directly cutting off her body. Otherwise, she might have become 2 pieces. How dare you look down on me like this? Luo Chinan's beautiful eyes had a fierce light. Holy blessing. As a pale golden shield emerged from Luo Chinan's body, Lyn Ran immediately felt that Luo Chinan in the space could no longer be manipulated at will. Luo Chinan, who recovered, did not hesitate at all and launched another charge against Lyn Ran. Oh, the effect of this divine blessing seems to be okay. However, although Lyn Ran lost control of Luo Chinan's body, the sacred energy that had just been cut off and was floating in the air was still at his disposal. Room Baton. Lyn Ran clenched his fist, and in the next moment, the wings, holy light cross, and light sword that had been stripped from Luo Chinyan's body condensed into a ball of blazing light, and instead headed towards Luo Chinyan. Luo Chinyan had no intention of evading. Relying on her divine blessing, she summoned a longer and wider lightsaber and slashed at Lyn Ran. Attack Z's shield with Z's spear. What a powerful space control. I can finally see it. In this bright blue space, this guy seems to be able to control the objects inside. What a powerful ability. Even the talented holy angel of SSS looks a little embarrassed in front of him. But the power of the holy light emitted by the holy angel is also terrifying in a different way. Guigi, who still remembers that these two are just freshmen. It's true that the waves behind the Yangtze River push the waves ahead, and each generation becomes more and more waves. Quote. The two of them had just started fighting, and they had already attracted countless attention. Although they are not very clear about their methods. But from the energy capture and the power of their skills, it is not difficult to see how terrifying Lyn Ran and Luo Chinyan are. Is this the genius who can attract the heads of the 5 major departments to come together to see him? It's incredible. On the stage, boom, the energy light group grabbed by Lyn Ran's backhand had exploded on Luo Chinyan's body. However, under the protection of the divine blessing, this ball of energy was not even able to slow down Luo Chinyan's next step. The huge lightsaber in Luo Chinyan's hand was still sent to Lyn Ran's face by her. Lyn Ran retreated slightly at first, and then stretched out his left hand that had been behind his back. Counter shock. A powerful and electric high-frequency voltage immediately appeared on his left hand, colliding hard with the lightsaber in Luo Chinyan's hand. Crack la la la. The powerful energy explosion generated at the intersection of the electric light and the holy light immediately blew Luo Chinyan away. If it weren't for the support of the newly grown wings of holy light, Luo Chinyan would have fallen to the ground in an extremely stupid posture. Lyn Ran, on the other hand, didn't even tremble at all. Looking at Lyn Ran, who was motionless, Luo Chinyan couldn't help but feel a little dazed for a moment. Then she suddenly remembered that Lyn Ran's talent was an SS-level natural spirit, known as the ceiling of pure defensive talent. This level of offensive is indeed a bit underwhelming in front of the natural spirit body. At this time, the audience on the stage also reacted. His grandmas. This SS-level natural spirit body is lie. It has such a powerful impact that it can't even be moved. What? That little brother is a natural spirit. But shouldn't a natural spirit have no aggression at all? Are you stupid? I have bloodline abilities. How many more times do you want me to say this? But, is there really a bloodline ability that can not only control space, but also control thunder and lightning, and can also wield black flames? Who knows? His abilities must have a source anyway, right? If it's not talent, it must be blood. If you say that, then it's true. Quote. Looking at Luo Chinyan with a serious expression, Lyn Ran smiled. Chinyan, be careful, I have to be serious. Luo Chinyan bit her lip, and just when she was about to say something, a blue energy skeleton suddenly emerged from Lyn Ran's side. This energy skeleton is in the shape of an arm, looks huge and strong, and holds a blue energy sword in its hand. Suzano. Lyn Ran directly activated Sharingan's other ultimate eye technique. Originally, he planned to defeat Luo Chinyan by only using Op Fruit's ability. But later it was discovered that Luo Chinyan's holy light was far more intense than expected. If you only rely on an SSS level talent, Holy Angel, it will be really difficult to break free from the control. There is a high probability that this little girl has a bloodline ability that strengthens her own power of holy light. Moreover, the magic barrier created by her sacred sanctuary is quite restrained in her rune domain. If he only used Op Fruit, if he wanted to win, he would have to slowly exhaust Luo Chinyan's magic power and win again. Relying on the battery life of the soul ring, Suzano alone is enough to last for a long time. So it's better to just go with Suzano. Oh my god, this. What the hell is this? Can such a big energy arm really be realized by a freshman? It's so spectacular. I was dumbfounded. And have you noticed that there is a faint ring of ribs at the end of his energy arm, which also wraps his body? It's actually a skill that combines offense and defense. This is too pervert. But it can be seen from the appearance that the consumption of magic power by this move should be extremely exaggerated. This may be the only drawback of this move. Quote. As for Lu Chufeng and the other 5, they all looked at each other in confusion, not knowing what to say. In the end, it was Lin Miao who spoke first. Chufeng, do you still feel that your judgment on Lyn Ran's bloodline ability is correct? Lu Chufeng took a deep breath and said. Then if he is not King Yongye, what exactly is Lyn Ran's bloodline ability? No one answered him. Several people could only look at Lyn Ran's Suzano in silence. On the stage, facing the exaggerated Suzano arm, Luo Chinan gritted her teeth and shouted. Angel's true form. Following Luo Chinyan's call, a holy light arm similar to Suzano actually appeared next to her, holding a lightsaber no smaller than the Suzano energy sword, and there were faint angel wings behind her, glow floating. Seeing Luo Chinyan also summoning something incomprehensible, the onlookers no longer knew what kind of dull expressions they should put on. What is this? How come we are still playing real person fights, but they are already fighting each other in Gundams? Oh my god, now they can only manifest one arm due to their lack of strength. If they wait until their ranks are higher in the future, wouldn't they be able to manifest a complete Gundam? When they get into the Gundam, it will be a fish crusher. This skill is definitely a first-rate killer weapon when fighting against large-scale ferocious beasts and alien races. Indeed, I feel that these two people will definitely be fully cultivated by the school. Quote. On the other side of the 5 department chairs, the other 4 who were not familiar with the matter just had a little surprise on their faces. But Lin Miao, who knew what he was doing, had already screamed. Angel's true form. She can actually use this move as a first-order awakened person. Lu Chufeng glanced at Lin Miao strangely. Is this surprising? Lin Miao rolled her eyes at him angrily. You know, a hammer. Even if her talent is SSS level Holy Angel, if she wants to use the embodied skill of Angel True Body, she must have at least the strength of a 6th level Awakener. Otherwise, the quality of the Holy Light in the body will not be enough to support the construction of the Angel's True Body. Now that Qingyun can use it as a 1st level Awakener, it only proves that she has a bloodline ability that strengthens the power of the Holy Light. Ling Shengqing glanced at Lin Miao in surprise. Then, if her bloodline ability is related to strengthening the Holy Light, what is the dark power hidden in Qingyun's body? Lin Miao sighed. I don't know about that. There are too many secrets hidden between Lyn Ran and Luo Qinyan. Maybe what we see now is just the tip of the iceberg. Unlike Lin Miao, who was worried, Gao Xian smiled with relief. It doesn't matter. They are students of Yan University anyway. The more things they can hide, the better. Anyway, the stronger they are, the stronger Yan University will be, which is a good thing. Xu Lei laughed angrily at him. You are quite optimistic. Gao Xian laughed. Otherwise, can we still cry after we have gained these 2 peerless geniuses? On the stage. At this time, Lyn Ran had already controlled Suzano and fought with Luo Qingyan's angelic form. One of the 2 wielded an energy sword, and the other wielded a lightsaber, making a clanging sound and energy fragments escaping everywhere. However, as far as the 2 manipulators are concerned, Lyn Ran's expression is much more relaxed. This is mainly because, firstly, with the blessing of the natural spirit body, his physical quality is far better than Luo Qingyan. Secondly, the completeness of his Suzano's manifestation must be higher than Luo Qingyan's true angel body. After all, in addition to her arms, Suzano could already vaguely see her ribs. But the angel's true form only has one solitary arm, and its color is much lighter than Lyn Ran's Susanna. In terms of energy quality, it is obviously incomparable. Clang, clang, clang. In just a short while, the embodied arms of both sides had already slashed each other dozens of times. As this confrontation continued, Luo Qingyan's face began to turn a little pale. Maintaining the true form of an angel is still a bit too much for her at this stage. At this time, under the massive consumption of magic power, Luo Qingyan's battery life could no longer keep up. The light of her angelic form continued to dim, and finally almost lost its luster completely. As for Lyn Ran, since he has been relying on the soul ring to supply magic power, there has been no decline at all. Luo Qingyan also noticed this scene keenly. She smiled helplessly, took away the angel's true form and said, "There is no magic power. I lost. Honestly, is your embodied arm waterproof on purpose? Otherwise, with your crushing quality, you should be able to crush me within 10 moves, right? Lyn Ran laughed, and instead of answering her question, he said. It's not that exaggerated, it's not that exaggerated. Luo Chinan snorted coldly and puffed up her cheeks in dissatisfaction. Not that exaggerated. I'm afraid if Lyn Ran tried his best, it would be even more exaggerated than this. I was really stupid, I didn't realize this until the end. Depressing. Lyn Ran, victory. After receiving Luo Chinan's message of giving up, the arena also announced the results of the competition. Seeing Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan walking out of the field, the 5 department heads couldn't hold back and surrounded them with cheers. Lyn Miao first grabbed Luo Chinan's hand with great excitement and said excitedly, Chinan, your talent is so strong. Follow my sister well from now on. I guarantee that you will be at least an 8th level awakened person in the future. As for the 9th level awakeners, they have great potential. Lu Chufeng quickly pulled Lyn Miao away with a look of disgust. Hey, get your kicks. Why haven't we talked about the serious business yet, and you've started robbing people again? Gao Xian stepped forward and smiled. That's amazing. They are indeed the 2 strongest people in this year's college entrance examination. Then our deal is established, and your rewards can all be upgraded to 3 platinum level heavenly materials and earthly treasures and 3 platinum level magic equipment. But because the school will not issue these vouchers to you until the official start of school, which is still a month away. Let's do this. I will lend you a total of 12 coupons first, and then you can return them to me after you receive the rewards. With that said, Gao Xian took out the 12 coupons from his space storage and handed 6 coupons to each of Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan. Ling Shangqing's face darkened. Okay, you master. I didn't expect that a person like you, with thick eyebrows and big eyes, would start playing such clever tricks. No wonder you proposed this kind of reward upgrade. It turns out you were prepared for it. It's a shame you thought of allocating the rewards to them in advance. Gao Xian raised his head proudly. But when I proposed it, didn't you agree? Who can I blame for my lack of brains? And everything I do is legal. I'm not spending the school's resources in advance. Am I lending them my own things? Ling's sad face turned even darker, but he couldn't find Gao Xian's flaw, so he could only grit his teeth silently. Although the surrounding onlookers could not hear clearly what they were arguing about, they could tell from the tugging that they were probably robbing someone. Isn't this the first day of registration for freshman special admissions students? Are the department heads so hungry? Must be horny. Oh my god, did you just see that? With the strength of a first-level awakened person, he can summon such exaggerated mysterious spirits to attack each other. How much more valuable is there in this? It's simply unheard of for the heads of the 5 major departments to go out together. I seem to remember that in our class, the number 1 pick didn't even get this kind of treatment, right? That's what it means to have no strength. Compared to these 2 people, I really can't find any talented people in our class who can do anything. When they reach our level, they might be able to fight 1 against 10. 1 against 10. I'm afraid it's 1 against 100. Quote. In the midst of everyone's sighs, the 5 department heads struggled with each other for a while, and finally Xu Lei jumped out to smooth things over. Okay. Which department should Xiaoran and Qingyan go to? Let them think carefully about it for a while. No matter how anxious we are, we still have to follow other people's wishes, right? Let's get down to business first. Boss, our principal, has asked us to ask you how you plan to spend this month. How are you going to spend this month? This really confused Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan. When they went to the meeting, they really didn't think about it that much. Seeing that the 2 of them were a little confused, Lyn Miao smiled and said, Well, I don't understand Xiaoran's talent or bloodline, but I understand Qingyan very well. Qingyan, we, the Holy Angels, have so many secret skills and maintenance methods that you probably don't even know yet. The most important thing is the special meditation and breathing methods, which can greatly enhance your battery life. How about it? Do you want to come to my sister's place for training this month? I helped you make a detailed plan to become a god. When the time comes, let alone being able to defeat the monster Xiaoran, at least I won't be too far behind. Hearing what Lyn Miao said, Luo Qingyan's eyes lit up instantly and she said in surprise. Really? That's great. Then I'll thank Sister Miao in advance. After saying that, Lin Miao pulled her into his arms. Seeing Lin Miao proudly holding Luo Chinyan's shoulders, looking at the four people provocatively. Lu Chufeng, Ling Shangqing, Gao Xian and Xu Lei all looked helpless. Oh, with this talent from the same lineage as Luo Chinyan, Lin Miao is indeed far ahead of them. Ling Shangqing glanced at Lyn Ran again and said, "What about you, Xiaoran?" After Lyn Ran thought for a while, he said, "I'm going to go to forbidden areas outside the school and natural secrets for some practical training. In that case, the improvement and progress in strength should be the fastest." As soon as this statement came out, 6 people, including Luo Chinyan, looked at Lyn Ran in surprise. Luo Chinyan spoke first, "But, if you go outside the school, the risk factor is very high. Although you have a natural spirit body, your cultivation level is limited after all, and the natural spirit body is not invincible." Lyn Ran smiled confidently. "It's okay, don't be afraid, I have a special way to save my life. You can probably understand it as an emergency evacuation device that is automatically triggered when in danger. Moreover, safety is absolutely guaranteed." In addition to Luo Chinyan's eyes, Lyn Ran used a transcribe seal to engrave an Amaterasu and a Kamui that could contain it into the Kamui space. He does the same with his own eyes. Otherwise, facing some opponents whose strength is too disparate, there is still the possibility of being killed instantly if Kamui cannot be released. But if it is triggered passively, then there is really no problem at all. Hearing what Lyn Ran said, the 6 of them were a little surprised. Luo Chinyan thought of the scene in the corridor before, and nodded in realization. "It seems really. However, you still have to be as careful as possible." Lyn Ran smiled and touched her head. "I will." Seeing that Luo Chinyan had already said this, the 5 department heads acquiesced that Lyn Ran did have this special life-saving ability. Xu Lei smiled and said, "Okay, if that's the case, then we can rest assured. As long as safety can be guaranteed, actual combat in forbidden areas or secret realms in the wild is indeed the best way to improve your strength and hone your combat skills. We have done what we should do, so we won't continue to disturb you. Let's say goodbye." With that said, except for Lin Miao who took Luo Chinyan away, the other 4 people said goodbye to them and left alone. Looking at the 6 people walking away, Lyn Ran smiled slightly. Just after the battle with Luo Chinyan, there was a new round of prompts from the Zudian fishing system. Ding! The fishing system reminds you that prey has been hooked. Please return to the pond to deal with it in time and start the next fishing. I have to find a place quickly to check the harvest. Yanyan University. The top of the freshman dormitory area. Twin villas. At this time, Lyn Ran had entered the consciousness space and gently raised the fishing rod. Ding! Successfully fishing in the heavens. Congratulations to host for getting the product, King's Treasure Infinite Gold Treasure House Edition. The King's Treasure. The nickname in Fate is Golden Shining, the signature noble phantasm of Gilgamesh, the oldest heroic king of mankind. Lyn Ran looked at the aperture in his hand that kept merging with him in surprise. This stuff has a lot of history. It can open the door of the treasure house and launch the countless weapon-like treasures inside like bullets or arrows. According to Lyn Ran's understanding, if Jin Shining used his full strength, he would be able to open hundreds of treasure house doors at the same time and continuously shoot out thousands of treasure phantoms with absolute suppressive power. But if I let my current self use it? Lyn Ran glanced at the big tree in the consciousness space. The King's Treasure. Under Lyn Ran's urging, 6 treasure house doors appeared one after another behind him, and swords, spears, swords and halberds shot out from them, instantly piercing the tree into several sections. Okay, there is the 6th gate right from the start, which is enough. But it is a pity that the power of Wang Kai that Lyn Ran possesses only has the effect of launching. The functions of storing and using the treasures inside are not available for the time being. The launched noble phantasm will automatically disappear after a short period of time and be recycled back into the gold treasure house. As for the advantage, it comes with an unlimited version of the gold treasure trove. When he launches it, he doesn't have to worry about running out of bullets. After all, the principle of the King's Treasure is to use the key to the Golden City to connect to the treasure house of the Golden City and launch the treasures inside. The more treasures stored inside, the more useful this noble phantasm will naturally be. If there were no treasures inside, the king's treasure house would be nothing more than a decoration. If Lyn Ran is allowed to collect it slowly by himself, I am afraid that even if I spend my whole life, I will not be able to collect even 1/10,000th of the original amount. So this infinite gold treasure house version of the king's treasure is the real king's treasure. Lyn Ran is quite satisfied with this new ability. Before he obtained the king's wealth, his other 3 magic weapons had a common flaw. That is the lack of AoE capabilities. Needless to say, the soul ring is an auxiliary prop used to replenish magic power and store items. Eternal Mangekyo's own development level is not very high. Amaterasu can only control 1 ball of black flame, and Kamui can only target 1 point. Unless you directly use Susan's power to go up and slash with the energy sword, it won't be enough to watch. Op Fruit's abilities are more and more buggy, especially when facing humans. It is even more powerful. Cutting, splicing, electric shock, transfer, can beat people until they are in pain. Not to mention the Gamma Knife, which can only deal internal injuries and has unparalleled cutting power. However, this ability may not be so effective when facing ferocious beasts and alien races. Secondly, they are better at point-to-point and one-on-one. If the room area is expanded to a very large area, the consumption of magic power and physical strength will be immeasurable. The emergence of King's Treasure can be said to have made up for Lyn Ran's current disadvantage to a large extent, and also given Lyn Ran a conventional means of attack. Simply perfect. After Lyn Ran became familiar with Wang Kai's launch for a while, he withdrew from the consciousness space. Gao Xian had given them the 3 platinum level coupons for heavenly materials, earthly treasures and magic equipment 1 month in advance. Now, I must change it out to enhance my strength. After all, he was preparing to take on the mission and then go out to practice outside the school. Naturally, the higher his attributes, the better. Throw the pole and leave. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Lyn Ran finally got something that made him extremely satisfied from the exchange office of Yanda. Shoulders of Dark Knight. Category: Shoulder Armor. Quality: Platinum. Equipment effect: increase the wearer's magic resistance by 20%, and increase the magic power by 20%. Dark Knight Armguard. Category: Armor. Quality: Platinum. Equipment effect: increase the wearer's magic resistance by 20%, and increase the magic power by 20%. Dark Knight Leather Boots. Category: Boots. Quality: Platinum. Equipment effect: increase the wearer's movement speed by 25% and physical resistance by 15%. These 3 pieces of equipment, plus the previous 3 pieces of golden equipment, directly brought Lyn Ran's total increase to 210%. The specific amplification effects are 75% physical resistance, 50% magic resistance, 60% of the maximum magic value, and 25% movement speed. This is really an extremely luxurious number. Without equipped weapons and rings, his total increase rate is almost higher than that of many 4th and 5th level awakeners. And under Lyn Ran's careful selection, almost all of the equipment he chose were equipment used to improve defense and maximize magic value. It would be quite suitable to match him. As for the 3 platinum level treasures of heaven and earth, Lyn Ran still chose Qing Ning Mana. As soon as these 3 pieces of quiet nectar entered his stomach, Lyn Ran felt that his whole body was filled with magical power. Now his maximum magic value has almost doubled than before. In the practice room of the villa, Lyn Ran has already tested it. Combined with the room field of Op Fruit and Eternal Mangekyo's Suzano, coupled with Wang Kai's crazy volley. Even if you don't use the soul ring to restore mana, it can last for several minutes. If you use the soul ring, you will basically have squandered it. The fort with unlimited firepower is slowly taking shape. Chapter 39. Lyn Ran's combat power has further reached 4,400 points. In terms of combat power, the higher you go, the more strength and combat power you need to improve. For example, when your combat power is 2,000, you can increase your combat power to 2,500 by eating a few natural treasures. By the time you reach 20,000 combat power, you may only be able to increase your combat power to 20,050 by eating a few heavenly materials and earthly treasures of the same quality, or even lower. As for Lyn Ran's current combat power of 4,400, it can only be said that this value is seriously inconsistent with his actual combat effectiveness. After all, when calculating combat power, Lyn Ran's Sharingan, Op Fruit, and King's Treasure will not be included in the calculation. The increase in equipment is not here either. What it aims at is nothing more than a naked calculation based on each person's different talents and physical qualities, so it should be inaccurate. Being able to pass the rank examination is the representative of hard power. Lyn Ran feels that even if he applies for the advanced examination for the second-level awakened person now, he will pass it casually. Unfortunately, the registration conditions for the second-level awakened person examination are to increase your combat power to a minimum of 10,000 points. I can only say that I am very helpless. The benefits brought by improving your rank are mainly reflected in related benefits. Starting from the second-level awakeners, Dragon Kingdom will provide quite generous welfare guarantees to the awakeners every month. Moreover, many secret realms and forbidden areas that are not open to the public, as well as some urban areas, also require you to be a high-level awakened person. Lyn Ran could only drink a bottle of high-end genetic modification fluid first and slowly refine his body and talent. Originally, the genetically modified fluid accumulated in the body that still needed to be digested for a month had been digested in advance through continuous training in the practice room and several battles with real people. This is why Lyn Ran wants to practice in forbidden places and natural secrets. Fierce fighting can greatly accelerate the digestion speed of the genetically modified fluid in the body. Not counting the one he just drank, there are still 34 bottles of high-end genetic modification fluid in Lyn Ran's soul ring. These are the rewards obtained by winning the first prize in the college entrance examination. A month's time should still be able to digest a lot. As for the 100 gold level one-time prop redemption coupons, Lyn Ran had replaced them with various scrolls and props with different effects to prepare for emergencies. Lyn Ran stuffed a lot of food and fresh water into the soul ring. Coupled with the life-saving Kamui buried in his right eye, Lyn Ran can be said to be fully prepared. Go to the mission hall, choose a location, accept a few missions and go. Luo Chinan is currently training with Lin Miao, and Lyn Ran definitely doesn't want to relax. After putting on his own clothes, Lyn Ran quickly rushed from the villa to the task hall of Yanyan University with the help of the rented hoverbike at the door. If you come to take over a task for the first time, you must first register your information and register as an executor. Otherwise, you will not be able to log into the information network of the mission hall and freely accept missions. Since most of the new students had not arrived yet, the mission hall was not lively at all, with only a few dozen people here and there. Lyn Ran quickly came to the front desk, looked at the little girl who was working here, and asked, "Excuse me, is the identity of the executor processed here?" When the little girl saw the handsome Lyn Ran, she smiled and nodded. "Yes, it's here. Can you provide your student card and ID card information? Just use the biochip to connect to our registration network and upload it." Seeing Lyn Ran start transmitting related information, the little girl glanced at her receiving panel and couldn't help but said in surprise, "Classmate, you are actually a freshman this year." Lyn Ran nodded. "Yes, I am a new student. Is this surprising?" The little girl blinked. Generally speaking, freshmen rarely apply to become executors. After all, the outside world is very dangerous, and you only have one life. As the proud sons of heaven, who wouldn't cherish it? Lyn Ran couldn't help but laugh. "Then you mean, I don't cherish it less?" The little girl shook her head hurriedly and said while going through the formalities. No, on the contrary, I admire your courage. Generally, those who dare to apply for executors and go out hunting in their freshman year are definitely the top ones. As long as you people can graduate successfully, you will be among the best and have an infinitely bright future. By the way, after obtaining the status of executor, there are a few things you need to pay attention to. I have to explain it to you first. Lyn Ran said seriously. "Girl, please speak." The little girl smiled again and said, "That's right, the executors are also hierarchical within themselves. Low-level performers can only perform low-level tasks, and high-level performers can perform high-level tasks. The grading of performers from low to high is the same as talent. From low to high, there are 9 levels: F, E, D, C, B, A, S, SS, and SSS. If you want to improve your executor level, you have to do more tasks, accumulate experience, and gradually upgrade. In addition to our school, there are also some social tasks outside. But there is no way to get credit rewards for those tasks, and many of them are posted by individuals. You have to be clear about this. Lyn Ran nodded. I understand all of this, is there anything else? The little girl continued. Well, there's one last thing. After you obtain the identity of an executor, your identity information will have something called hunting points and something called military merit points. These two things are related to ferocious beasts and alien races. After all, our current main opponents as humans are ferocious beasts and alien races. The desire of the alien race to kill us and the human race will never die, and ferocious beasts will always cause a tide of beasts to rush into the city, seriously threatening the safety of our lives and property. As for the statistics of these 2 points, you don't need to worry. With the system helping to calculate, you don't have to worry about your hunting points and military merit points being swallowed up. The more ferocious beasts and aliens you kill and the stronger your strength, the more hunting points and military merit points you can obtain. The functions of these 2 points are very similar to our credits at Yan University. They are used to exchange for various items and props. The exchange channel has changed from the school to the country and the military. It's just that, in terms of the preciousness of the exchange items, they definitely can't compare with our Yan University credits. The scarcity of top-level resources leads to this. The things they can redeem are relatively common and less precious. But if the quantity can be increased, the benefits will still be considerable. Or if you raise your executive level or military rank to a very high level, you may also have access to the top resources of the country and the military. When I finish the procedures for you, you will be able to see their existence from your brand new panel information soon. Lyn Ran touched his chin thoughtfully. I see. There are many forbidden areas and secret realms in this world's blue star. In some of the great forbidden lands, there are still cracks in time and space. The other realms connected by those time and space cracks are where the aliens live. According to incomplete statistics, there are currently nearly 100 known space-time cracks on Blue Star. There are probably dozens of different races of aliens. They are often vicious and cruel, often hunting humans for no reason. Many times, there are even thoughts of organizing an army to attack Blue Star. That is to say, mankind has developed for so many years, has advanced technology, and has many masters, so it has beaten them back time and time again. As for the beast tide rushing into the city, the number of large and small beast tides that Dragon Kingdom has experienced alone is probably no less than 10,000. Among them, dozens of the most powerful ones brought great losses to the cities and garrison soldiers that were hit by the beast tide, and caused countless tragedies. Lyn Ran was shocked every time he looked at relevant information. Wait until the little girl completes all the procedures and helps Lyn Ran complete the registration. Lyn Ran first smiled and thanked the little girl, then walked out of the mission hall and opened his personal panel. This personal panel is not the same as the student ID card that shows the student number and credits. Name: Lyn Ran. Gender: male. Current status: citizen of Longguo, special admission student of Qingjing Yanyan University's 3077th class. Identity code 306002290000835671. Awakened level 1. Combat power 4400. Executor level F. Military rank corporal. Hunting points 0. Military merit points 0. As long as they can be admitted to top universities and become special admission students, they will be directly awarded the rank of corporal of the Dragon Kingdom. This is another major privilege of special admissions to top universities. If you want to improve your military rank, you have to work hard in the direction of the army. Lyn Ran thought of this and took another look at his student ID information. Name: Lyn Ran. Gender: male. Student ID: 30,770,625,000,001. Department: none. Grade ranking: 1. Credit: 1500. Together, these two panels form the most important information component of Lyn Ran at present. Those are 3 points: credits, hunting points and military merit points. After all, these 3 are currently Lyn Ran's most important channels for obtaining cultivation resources. Without them, one's own spiritual path would not be able to continue, and everything else would not be able to continue to improve. So of these 3, the more the merrier. And as long as you go out to perform on-campus tasks at Yan University, you may be able to improve these 3 at the same time. Let's take a look at what kind of tasks there are in the task system first. Relying on his 2 identities as Yanyan University's special admissions student and F-class executor, Lyn Ran successfully connected to Yanyan University's mission network and began to scan for specific missions. The highest number of tasks that an F-level executor can undertake is limited to D-level, and the upper limit they can accept at the same time is also limited to 3, so Lyn Ran's eyes are basically focused on D-level. Soon, he picked out 3 tasks and chose to take them on. The first task is, task name, hunting the demon horned rhinoceros. Task level, D. Mission goal, find the adult ferocious beast rhinoceros in a forbidden area or natural secret, hunt it, and retrieve the heart, fur, and horns for handover of the mission. Special requirements. Videos related to hunting the demonic rhinoceros must be submitted at the same time as proof that the successor has completed the task in person. Note: the recorded video time must be after the task is accepted, and it can be valid before the task expiration date. Mission information. Areas where part of the demon-horned rhinoceros may exist: the first level of Black Dragon Abyss, the outskirts of Yunmongs, and the foot of Falong Mountains. Task deadline: August 15, 3077. Task reward: 350 credits, 10 gold level one-time magic prop exchange coupons. The second task is, task name, looking for fluorescent stone. Task level, D. Mission goal, find the mineral fluorescent stone in a forbidden area or a natural secret, and bring back 5 kilograms. Special requirements. Videos related to mining fluorescent stones must be submitted at the same time as proof that the undertaker has completed the task in person. Note: the recorded video time must be after the task is accepted, and it can be valid before the task expiration date. Mission information. Areas where fluorescent stones may exist: the first floor of Black Dragon Abyss, the first floor of White Bone Crypt. Task deadline: August 20, 3077. Task reward: 300 credits, 10 gold level one-time magic prop exchange coupons. The third task is, task name, picking silence mushrooms. Task level, D. Mission goal, find the material silence mushroom in forbidden areas or natural secrets, and bring back 500 grams. Special requirements. Videos related to picking silenced mushrooms must be submitted at the same time as proof that the undertaker has completed the task in person. Note: the recorded video time must be after the task is accepted, and it can be valid before the task expiration date. Mission information. Areas where the Nirvana mushroom may exist: the first level of Black Dragon Abyss, the outskirts of Yunmongs, the decaying forest. Task deadline: August 10, 3077. Task reward: 400 credits, 15 gold level one-time magic prop exchange coupons. Not only do these 3 missions have considerable credit rewards, but they also have one notable thing in common. That is to have a common mission location, Black Dragon Abyss. Black Dragon Abyss is also an old forbidden area near Qingjing. There are 9 floors in it. The deeper you go, the stronger the ferocious beasts lurk. There were rumors that there was a mysterious 10th layer below the 9th layer of the Black Dragon Abyss, where a terrifying black dragon lived. It is precisely because of this legend that Black Dragon Abyss got its name. However, not many people believe it. Lyn Ran is also preparing to go there to hone himself and consume the genetic modification fluid in his body. Get as much improvement as possible before the freshman competition. By the way, you can also earn credits by completing tasks and earning hunting points by killing ferocious beasts. If there is a chance to meet a foreign race, you can even get some military merit points to come back. I don't know how much I can achieve with one move. It's getting late today, so I'll hone my skills in the villa's training room and set off tomorrow morning. After making a plan for himself, Lyn Ran finally breathed a sigh of relief and drove back to the villa. On the second day, Lyn Ran, who was fully prepared, loaded everything into the soul ring and started on his way on his hoverbike. Heilongyuan is not very far from the urban area of Qingjing. If you take the underground passage, you can get there in about an hour or 2 at the speed of this top-notch hoverbike. And there is a biochip map network for guidance, so you won't get lost. Soon, Lyn Ran drove to the armed fortress in front of Black Dragon Abyss. There are basically such armed fortresses at the entrances to many large forbidden areas. First, it was to prevent the ferocious beasts inside from rushing outside and attacking nearby cities. With the armed fortress there, even if a large-scale attack of beasts really breaks out inside the forbidden area, at least a certain amount of time can be bought. During this period of time, the army of the Dragon Kingdom will arrive to suppress the rioting beast tide. Secondly, it also provides a place for awakens who go hunting in forbidden areas to trade, supply, and form teams. In this way, it can be said that it is greatly convenient for the awakened ones. This has also spawned a group of professional hunters who go to forbidden areas to hunt, and sell the furs, flesh, materials and other items of ferocious beasts. After entering Lyn Ran's information, the soldier stationed at the door immediately saluted Lyn Ran respectfully. "Sir Lyn Ran, the Black Dragon Abyss Armed Fortress welcomes you." Lyn Ran was startled by him, and quickly followed his example and returned a military salute before walking into the fortress. Unexpectedly, my identity as a cheap corporal is quite useful. After all, it is not easy for many people who join the army to obtain a basic military rank. At this time, the fortress was very lively, with all kinds of hawking sounds going on continuously. A small instant recovery potion. It's on sale for 5,000 dragon coins per bottle. Gong Ling Guo, a fruit with special effects, a specialty of Black Dragon Abyss, can be taken away with only 10,000 dragon coins. Freshly made silver level magic equipment that increases physical and magic resistance by 10%. The starting price is 5 million. Come and buy it now. The Dark Knight Demon Wolf Cub caught on the second floor of Black Dragon Abyss has the potential to be cultivated into a war pet. If you want it, please come and discuss it. The price is affordable. Quote. It has to be said that compared to directly selling items on an online auction house, the sales effect of this kind of shouting is countless times better. And the most important thing is that the things you buy at external auction houses cannot be delivered directly to your hands. But here, it can be accessed directly. Moreover, the prices sold at stalls in the fortress are often lower than the market prices outside. Therefore, there are a large number of awakened people who especially like to visit this kind of market that is friendly to the people. In addition to those buying things, there are also a large number of awakened people who are shouting to form a team. The current temporary team of 4 has all the output and human shields, but lacks an awakener with a recovery talent. The combat power is required to be above 15,000. A veteran 7-man grizzly bear team, all equipped with silver equipment, with a total increase of 160%, led by a 4th level A-level talent awakener, and a human shield type talent awakener, preferably level 3 or above. 3rd level B-level talent output awakener, ability is Frost, can control the field part-time, total increase is 110%, combat power is 23,560, find a team, personal goal is Snow Wolf Skin, form me if needed. Quote. Since there are endless dangers in the forbidden area, except for a few brave lone rangers with extraordinary skills, most of the other awakened people form teams. After all, if you have multiple people, you can take care of multiple people. At the same time, you can make your own reputation, and maybe you can eventually become the team leader of a fixed team. In that case, hunting near Black Dragon Abyss would be much more comfortable. However, Lyn Ran is an all-rounder himself, and has the space skill Kamui to save his life, so he naturally does not need other help. If there are people around him who are poor at protecting themselves, they will become a drag on him. Unintentionally forming a team, he walked all the way to the entrance of Black Dragon Abyss, planning to go in directly and explore the way first. But at this moment, a familiar voice suddenly sounded from behind. Lyn Ran. Lyn Ran was stunned, then looked back, and then saw Xu Shang, the sunny boy he had seen in the conference room before. Xu Shang was surrounded by a large group of awakened people, all of whom were obviously members of his Zhongdongshu family. After seeing Lyn Ran's gaze, Xu Shang showed his signature sunny smile again. "Brother Lyn, you also come for actual combat training?" Lyn Ran nodded. "Yeah, I feel like I can make progress faster this way." Xu Shang glanced at Lyn Ran's left and right, and said doubtfully. "But, why didn't I see your teammates?" Lyn Ran smiled. "Because I plan to go by myself." Xu Shang was shocked. Are you a first-level awakened person planning to go to the Black Dragon Abyss by yourself? The risk is too great. You know, even on the outermost level of Black Dragon Abyss, there are often ferocious beasts with combat power exceeding 10,000, or even 20,000. If you are targeted by such a vicious beast, it will be difficult to escape. In case we encounter a herd of beasts again. Lyn Ran waved his hand nonchalantly. It's okay, I'm relatively muscular, and I have some life-saving means and props, so it won't be too risky. Xu Sheng suddenly realized. Oh, yes, when I saw you kill Xiao Shong instantly in the fight with Luo Chinan in the ring, I almost forgot that you were a natural spiritual talent. It will indeed be much safer if a natural spirit body joins us. Lyn Ran's battle with Luo Chinan in the ring had just ended, and it had already gone viral on the Yanda forum. Including the senior students, everyone marveled at the heaven-defying methods of these two people. As for Lyn Ran, whose performance was even more exaggerated, he vaguely felt like he was being deified. This mysterious bloodline ability that no one knows about is really scary. Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan, who own the copyright fees, also earned a lot of dragon coins through traffic income, which was an unexpected surprise. After Xu Sheng said this, the topic suddenly changed. However, the existence of natural spirits does not mean invincibility. For a genius like you, even if there is a slight possibility, I will not let you take risks. If something happens to you, it will definitely be a big loss to our Yan University. No, it's definitely a big loss to our Dragon Kingdom. So, please accept these two things. Don't refuse. This can be regarded as the contribution that my Jiangdong Xu family and I, Xu Sheng, have made to our Yan University and our Dragon Kingdom. With that said, Xu Sheng handed a well-sealed scroll and a white ball of light into Lyn Ran's hands. Lyn Ran was stunned for a moment, and quickly glanced at the properties of the scroll and the light ball. Emergency Escape Scroll. Category: Disposable Props. Quality: Diamond. Prop Effect: After use, the user's physical resistance and magic resistance are increased by 100% for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, the user will be teleported to a preset location. The maximum teleportation straight line distance is 25 kilometers, which is beyond the range the rear scroll cannot be used. Curtain of Holy Light. Category: Disposable Props. Quality: Diamond. Prop Effect: After use, it creates a defensive light curtain with a radius of 10 meters, which can block all attacks from the outside until the defense energy or time is exhausted, lasting 30 minutes. 2 life-saving, one-time diamond-level props. Looking at the things in his hands, Lyn Ran could only sigh with emotion. The background of a wealthy family is indeed terrifying. Among various levels of disposable props, the most precious is this life-saving prop. After all, who doesn't want to have a few tricks up their sleeve that they can use to escape death? If these two things were sold, if measured in dragon coins, the value of each would be at least hundreds of millions. And it should be far more than 100 million. Lyn Ran smiled bitterly. It's so precious, brother Xu. Xu Sheng laughed. Didn't I say that? These things are given to me as a contribution to the school and the country. I'm different from those people who like to worship the peer. We are just classmates. Even if you don't accept my kindness, I will make the entire Jiangdong Xu family become your solid backing. After listening to Xu Sheng's words, Lyn Ran opened his mouth to say something, when a sneer suddenly came from beside him. Oh, my stupid brother, can you also represent the entire Jiangdong Xu family? You don't think that the successor to the head of the Jiangdong Xu family is you, right? Xu Sheng's face darkened when he heard this, and he turned back to look at the visitor. What do you mean by Brother Zheng's words? Lyn Ran also followed Xu Sheng's gaze and saw a very conspicuous bald man among the crowd. Xu Sheng's brother Xu Jang. Lyn Ran suddenly realized. After rejecting Xu Sheng's invitation before, Lyn Ran went back and studied their wealthy family called Jiangdong Xu family. The Jiangdong Xu family is indeed different from many wealthy families. They are divided into internal and external families. The head of the family is also divided into the head of the inner family and the head of the outer family. The head of the inner family is a hereditary system, which ensures the purity of the blood. The head of the outside family selects among the talents recruited, and the talented ones are placed there. Generally speaking, the head of the outside family is basically promoted by the head of the inner family. He has a very close relationship with the head of the inner family and has superior abilities. This is also the reason why Xu Sheng came to find him before. Apparently, he is already preparing for a succession battle. Currently, there are 4 people with the right to inherit the Jiangdong Xu family. They are the eldest Xu Rong, the second eldest Xu Jang, the third eldest Xu Sheng and the fourth eldest Xu Liang. The boss Xu Rong is nearly 30 years old. Although he is very brave in fighting, he is relatively mindless, so he basically has no chance. The second eldest son, Xu Jang, has a better brain and pretty good cultivation, but he is more arrogant and domineering, and his methods are vicious. Even within the Xu family, not many people like him. The fourth child, Xu Liang, is obviously a resourceful person, but his talent for cultivation is relatively limited. He is still young and does not seem to have much chance. Only the third child, Xu Sheng, is gifted, has a bright smile, is brave and resolute, has a generous mind, and has the temperament of a leader, and is the most popular among the family. Xu Jang did not answer Xu Sheng's question, but followed Lyn Ran's gaze and looked back. Is this the new staff you found? It looks pretty good. Ouch, I remembered it. Isn't this also the special admissions of our Yan University this year, the top pick who broke the record by a large margin? With the help of such talented people, there is no need to worry about the uncertainties. Okay, brother, you are really getting more and more capable. Sensing Xu Zhang's unfriendly eyes and sinister tone, Lyn Ran also felt a little unhappy. Currently in his 3rd year at Yanyan University, how could a second in-line family heir be so arrogant? If this kind of person didn't have the aura of a wealthy family, he would have been hacked to death countless times. Lyn Ran didn't pay attention to him, but after stuffing the 2 props Xu Sheng gave him into the soul ring, he clasped his fists towards Xu Sheng. Brother Xu, thank you for your generosity. I still have something to do, so I'll take the first step. With that said, Lyn Ran was ready to dive into the entrance of Black Dragon Abyss. Unexpectedly, Xu Jang, like an annoying dog skin plaster, dodged and stood in front of him. Brother Lyn Ran, please stay, I have one more thing to ask for. Along with him, there were a large group of men who blocked Lyn Ran's way. Xu Sheng's expression changed, and with a wave of his hand, the group of people behind him also stood behind Lyn Ran. Xu Jang, what do you want? Do you still want to take action in the armed fortress? In all the armed fortresses in the forbidden areas, humans are strictly prohibited from fighting with each other. If any conflict is discovered, they will be immediately suppressed by the troops stationed inside, and all will be punished accordingly. The consequences will be extremely serious. In front of the military, even a wealthy family like the Xu family can only give in. Now the 2 groups of people are standing together, their swords are at war, and they are obviously in some danger. Xu Jang laughed ferociously and said sadly, "Of course I won't violate the fortress's rules. I'm looking for Brother Lyn Ran because it's business. Brother Lyn Ran, can you please introduce me to that girl named Luo Chinan? My brother is very covetous of that girl's beauty." Hearing Xu Jang's words, Lyn Ran's eyes froze, and the eternal Mangekyo opened instantly. Xu Jang, who observed the change in Lyn Ran's eye color, was startled. He grabbed one of his men and blocked him in front of him, while taking several steps back. As a student of Yan University, it is impossible for him to be unaware of the sensation Lyn Ran caused recently. This man is a monster-like genius, and his strength cannot be measured by common sense. At this moment, Lyn Ran burst out with terrifying murderous intent, making him subconsciously think that the black flames were about to ignite in his body. However, Lyn Ran was not so impulsive as to take action inside the armed fortress. Moreover, based on the analysis of the energy veins seen in Sharingan, the Xu Jang in front of him is probably a 4th-level awakened person. No matter how confident Lyn Ran was, he was not so confident that he could kill a 4th-level awakened person against a large group of men on the opposite side. So Lyn Ran smiled and said, "Xu Jang, right. I advise you to try not to close your eyes when you go to bed at night. Otherwise, my head may disappear one day." After saying that, Lyn Ran pushed Xu Jang and his group aside and walked into the entrance of Black Dragon Abyss. Only then did Xu Jang recover from the panic just now. It's strange to say that I, a 4th-level awakened person, was refuted by a 1st-level awakened person. Xu Jang had no doubt just now that Lyn Ran, with the black and red eyes, really had the possibility to kill him. Although he didn't know what kind of killing move was hidden under his abnormal eye color. But this awakened person's unique sense of crisis will not lie to others. He believes in his own judgment after years of struggling in the forbidden area. The strange feeling just now was as creepy as when he faced a 7th level Earth Dragon beast. This guy Xu Shang has really caused himself a big trouble. If in another year or two, Lyn Ran fully grows up and works side by side with Xu Shang. Glancing at Xu Shang, who was smiling but not smiling, Xu Jang's face darkened, he waved his hand and said, "Let's go." After saying that, he led his group of people and left the armed fortress of Black Dragon Abyss. The old man's condition is getting worse and worse, and he must make plans early. After entering the forbidden area, Lyn Ran took a deep breath. Unexpectedly, I feel like I am getting into the Xu family's muddy water. However, if Xu Shang, who was extremely friendly to him, became the head of the Xu family in the future, it would only be good for him. As for Xu Jang, if this guy wants to bump into someone looking for trouble, then you can't blame him. Lyn Ran still had murderous intent floating in his eyes. Luo Chinan's right eye, Kamui, which she installed with a transfer seal, was still there, and she was still hanging out with Lin Miao, so she must be absolutely safe. On his own side, not to mention, after receiving Xu Shang's generous gift, there were endless ways to save his life. Just before entering the entrance, Lyn Ran had already engraved the transmission coordinates of the emergency escape scroll into an armed fortress. Even if Xu Jang led people into the forbidden area to surround him, he could leave calmly under the protection of Kamui and the scroll. If I have a chance in the future, I will definitely get rid of this scourge. Thinking of this, Lyn Ran took a look at Hailongyuan in front of him. Probably because this is the entrance, Lyn Ran didn't see a single ferocious beast. All I saw were hunters coming and going. So Lyn Ran chose a path that was different from them and began his solo journey. After a while, Lyn Ran was finally able to hear the roar from the ferocious beast. He has activated the eternal Mangekyo, and the darkness-based Black Dragon Abyss cannot cover his sight at all. Some ferocious beasts that want to rely on darkness as cover can still only be mercilessly penetrated by Lyn Ran. The King's Treasure. From the 8-gate treasure house door that opened behind him, more than a dozen noble phantasms shot out, instantly nailing 2 black-skinned evil wolves. Following this, Lyn Ran's hunting points also increased by 1.3. Because Wang Kai's golden light was too dazzling, the movement was quite large, and many ferocious beasts were attracted and rushed towards Lyn Ran. Well done. Lyn Ran jumped up onto a stone pillar and used Wang Kai to shoot wildly at the beasts below. Under the indiscriminate shooting of countless noble phantasms, the first and second level ferocious beasts below were like harvested wheat, falling one after another and turning into Lyn Ran's hunting spots. I couldn't even touch the edge of the stone pillar. Quack, quack. Hearing the noise, a large group of black crows were flying in the air, heading towards Lyn Ran. This group of things is basically the most annoying thing for hunters on the first level of Black Dragon Abyss. After all, they are ferocious beasts that fly in the air and like to feed on carrion. They always come out to cause trouble when hunters are hunting other ferocious beasts. While pecking at the hunters, they looted the skins and flesh of the dead beasts. If you attack them, they will just avoid you. When you start a new hunt, they come again. It's really disgusting. Unfortunately, these black crows met Lyn Ran, the god of death. Room Slaughterhouse. The bright blue light curtain spread out from the center of Lyn Ran, immediately covering all the black crows. Later, the wings of the black crows were cut off by Lyn Ran. Although this cutting off will not make the black crows and their wings inactive, it can still achieve the purpose of preventing them from flying freely. Room Scan. Lyn Ran took out the alloy tang knife and waved it gently, and the green laser condensed on the blade, pointing at the black crows falling to the ground. The next moment, Lyn Ran used the space power of Op Fruit to teleport the black crows to the bottom of the stone pillar and huddled together. The immobile black crows could only watch helplessly as the noble phantasm shot out from the king's treasure crushed them into bloody foam. Except for specific and rare low-level ferocious beasts, other low-level ferocious beasts have nothing of value at all. Only hunters who run small businesses care about their body parts. However, Lyn Ran relied on his large storage space to pick out some relatively well-preserved fur or flesh. Using the space transfer ability generated by Op Fruit's Room Scan and Room Baton, it was contained in its own soul ring. No matter how small a mosquito is, it is still meat, right? The accumulation of these basic materials is also a considerable amount of wealth. Moreover, relying on the ability of space transfer, the materials contained by Lyn Ran are quite fresh and complete, and the cutting technology is also extremely good, which can increase the value. What's more, with Op Fruit, Lyn Ran has almost achieved the effect of fully automatic hunting. The only problem is that when the Op Fruit is additionally used for cutting and containment, it also greatly increases the burden of Lyn Ran's magic power consumption. Even relying on the continuous sacrifices of the soul ring is a bit inadequate. This forced Lyn Ran to drink a bottle of the magic spring potion, a one-time gold level item. This thing can temporarily increase the maximum value of magic power and the recovery speed of magic power. It lasts for a full half hour, which is quite useful. Just when Lyn Ran had almost killed the incoming ferocious beasts, a 4th-level steel-maned grizzly bear suddenly rushed over and knocked over the stone pillar where Lyn Ran was standing with one head. Lyn Ran glanced at the grizzly bear, which was several meters tall and had thick skin and flesh. He smiled slightly, did a graceful backflip in midair, and then focused his magic power on his left eye. Amaterasu. Aha! A large ball of black flames instantly ignited from the steel-maned grizzly bear's body. The grizzly bear howled under the blazing high temperature, became murderous, and rushed towards Lyn Ran like crazy. So fast. Is this the speed of a 4th-level monster? Lyn Ran, who had just landed, saw that he could not dodge, so he stopped hiding and instead took a step forward. Suzano. The blue-armed skeleton appeared in response, holding an energy sword and confronting the grizzly bear head-on. Boom. It can only be said that the attributes of the 4th-level ferocious beast are still a bit perverted for the current Lyn Ran. What's more, is this a steel-maned grizzly bear known for its strength? After being hit by it, Lyn Ran's Suzano looked much darker, and some cracks appeared on her arms. The powerful impact did not even completely disappear after Suzano's block, but continued to affect Lyn Ran's body. However, under the protection of the natural spirit body, the remaining impact force did not cause any harm to Lyn Ran's body. He was only shocked to take a step back. As for the steel-maned grizzly bear who took Suzano's sword, he didn't feel well either. This powerful and heavy sword penetrated directly through the fur on its abdomen, leaving a bloody wound on him. The steel-maned grizzly bear was not Luo Chinan, so Lyn Ran naturally didn't hold back, obviously rushing to kill it. Seeing that Susan could no longer fight, Lyn Ran took it back first, and then jumped up high. Before the steel-maned grizzly bear could recover from the shock, Lyn Ran jumped on the steel-maned grizzly bear's head. Gamma knife. A green laser scalpel immediately appeared in Lyn Ran's palm, and he inserted it into the head of the steel-maned grizzly bear. Whew! The howl of the steel-maned grizzly bear was louder than the Amaterasu in its butt before. After all, the gamma knife is a special attack method that can bypass external defenses and directly attack internal organs. Sometimes when someone is killed, there won't even be any external injuries left on their body, especially pervert. This strike of the knife severely damaged the brain of the steel-maned grizzly bear, causing it to start thrashing around without any consciousness at all. Lyn Ran was also severely hit by its claws during its flurry, and was sent flying dozens of meters in an instant. But under the strong defense, although Lyn Ran looked miserable, he was actually a little bit dizzy after the fall. The actual damage suffered was minimal. After all, while possessing a natural spirit body, he also chose defense enhancement for all his luxurious gold and platinum magic equipment. Many Awakeners with output-type talents often choose equipment with terms such as physical damage increase or magic power increase in order to ensure their output ability. As a result, their defense is quite weak. Lyn Ran's output method is two-dimensionally reducing for this world. Therefore, even without a little output increase, it can still produce terrifying destructive power. Stacking meat naturally becomes the most cost-effective option. It was because of this that he was able to withstand the claw attack of the 4th-level steel-maned grizzly bear. But the charge that even Susan was able to destroy just now should not be answered with face. That one is obviously a collision skill of the steel-maned grizzly bear. If you try to use it with your face, you will probably be seriously injured. It's a pity that now, the steel-maned grizzly bear may have no chance to use his skills again. Kamui. A space-torn Uzumaki was generated from one of the legs of the steel-maned grizzly bear, and instantly broke its legs and bones together. Click. The steel-maned grizzly bear, which had lost one of its legs for support, was suddenly unable to even stand. It fell to the ground in frustration and kept pulling on the ground with its remaining 3 legs. Seeing that the overall situation was decided, Lyn Ran gasped and stood up from the ground. After releasing the last Kamui, all his magic power was gone. He took a sip of the cooled soul ring before he regained his composure a little. Good guy, he is indeed a 4th-level ferocious beast. His level is still a little too high. Under such high pressure, the consumption of magic power has also been greatly increased. However, despite the frequent use of tricks, the one who laughs in the end is still himself. Looking at the steel-maned grizzly bear with damaged brain, broken front legs, buttocks on fire, and sword marks on its abdomen, Lyn Ran slowly walked up to it. Scalpel. Lyn Ran reached out and grabbed the air, and the huge heart of the steel-maned grizzly came into Lyn Ran's hands. Moreover, the heart was taken out along with the nearby muscle tissue. Even after leaving the body of the steel-maned grizzly bear, the heart was still beating. The heart is contained in a small space cube generated using op fruit, and is preserved in the form of a living creature. As for the steel-maned grizzly bear, he did not die directly because his heart was taken out. He just collapsed to the ground weakly, with a diamond-shaped wound appearing on his heart. Very good. The most valuable things in the steel-maned grizzly bear have been removed, and the remaining organs are not so important. Normally, a 4th-level steel-maned grizzly heart will generally sell for no less than 3 million dragon coins. The fresher the heart, the higher the price. For a living heart like Lyn Ran that is preserved in a special way, it is not impossible to get 10 million dragon coins. As a hunter, I can make much more money than ordinary hunters. Huge storage space plus extremely efficient hunting methods plus amazing storage methods. Isn't this money coming in a hurry? Continue. At least the battle with the steel-maned grizzly bear just now proved that he could hunt down the 4th-level ferocious beast with ease. After all, the rank of ferocious beasts is often a bit high, and their true combat power is 1 rank or more lower than that of humans. They can't carry magic equipment that amplifies themselves. The 4th-level ferocious beast is almost equivalent to the 3rd-level awakened person with A-level talent and silver equipment. Moreover, the IQ of ferocious beasts is generally lower than that of humans. In addition, logically speaking, 4th-level ferocious beasts are already rare on the 1st level of Black Dragon Abyss, so there is no need to be afraid. Then start killing. Looking at the nearby area that had been slaughtered by him, Lyn Ran continued to walk deeper. 25 days later. Qingjing, Yanyan University. The white-bearded old man was sitting on the large recliner in the principal's office. The old man glanced at Lu Chufeng, Ling Shengqing, Gao Xian and Xu Lei. Where's Lin Miao? Why hasn't she come yet? Lu Chufeng scratched his head. She has been running around with Luo Chinan recently, doing special angel training. She should be very busy. I guess it's a bit far away, so I came a little late. Before she finished speaking, the furious Lin Miao opened the door with a bang. Boss, I'm here. The white-bearded old man looked at Lin Miao's anxious look and couldn't help laughing. You took that little girl Luo Chinan to that mysterious special training. How is it now? As soon as this was mentioned, Lin Miaoke no longer felt sleepy. Haha, the effect is quite good. Qingyan is the wisest choice to follow me. Now, not only has her combat power soared, her development of the talent of Holy Angel is also extremely good. I also gave her all the information on the angel lineage that I had collected before. The various secrets, cultivation rules, and meditation methods are countless. The mastery of the ability to manifest the angel's true form has also been greatly improved. If Lyn Ran hadn't appeared this year, Qingyan would definitely be the #1 freshman. He will even be the first freshman in history. The white-bearded old man touched his beard with satisfaction. Then what you say, that guy Lyn Ran is even more exaggerated. Very good. We have these two here at Yan University. In this year's freshman exchange competition, we might have a chance to win a Grand Slam. Ling Shengqing spoke at this moment. So boss, what's the purpose of letting the 5 of us come today? Arrange the freshman competition. Do the registration work well. Arrange the freshman exchange competition in advance. The white-bearded old man shook his head. I have already made arrangements for these, why do I need to trouble you? I called you here today to inform you of a big event. It's already July 20th, and a new batch of freshmen will be arriving soon. What will be involved next is the distribution of the 5 major departments. Don't you want to know which department Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan will be assigned to? The white-bearded old man smiled very cunningly. Hearing the white-bearded old man mention this, the 5 people were all refreshed. Lin Miao opened her mouth and said, "Then you must follow me. Luo Chinan won't say anything else, this little girl must be bound to me. That guy Lyn Ran will definitely follow in Chinyan's footsteps. It doesn't take much at all." Lu Chufeng quickly waved his hand. Hey, what are you talking about? No one stipulates that these 2 people must be in the same department. I think Lyn Ran is the most suitable for me. His fighting style is obviously similar to mine. I also know the most about his bloodline abilities. Who can compare with me? Ling sneered sadly. You still have bloodline abilities. No matter how you look at it, Lyn Ran's bloodline ability has nothing to do with the King of Eternal Night you mentioned before. You still owe everyone a handstand to wash your hair. Lyn Ran's powerful offensive ability, besides my white tiger line, who else can teach him? Shu Lei coughed. Shangqing, this is your fault. Have you all forgotten what Lyn Ran's talent is? SS level natural spirit. Isn't this the standard pillar of the Xuanwu series? He must belong to my Xuanwu lineage. Gao Xian sighed. Not to mention that Lyn Ran's various mysterious methods are very similar to the mysteries of my Suzaku lineage. Just the 2 of us, a beautiful boy couple, are beyond your reach, okay? You crooked people, don't you feel ashamed to stand with us? Ling Shangqing was almost mad at Gao Xian, so she glanced at him coldly and said, "You don't think you really have a sense of accomplishment with that pretty little face, do you? I'll be able to scratch you in a moment." Gao Xian raised his eyebrows. What, you want to spar? Okay, you pick a place in the arena, and I will definitely accompany you. Looking at the 5 people who were gradually arguing again, the white-bearded old man smiled and clapped his hands. Okay, don't argue anymore. I have long expected that if we don't make a special arrangement, the 5 of you will definitely fight for your head. So, I decided that the 2 of them will not go to any department, and they will just put their names in my name. You 5, if you want to teach them, you can come at any time. In this way, the 6 of us can be regarded as teachers of Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan, and you should be able to accept it. Hearing what the white-bearded old man said, the 5 of them were stunned. After looking at each other for a few times, Lu Chufeng said, "But wouldn't this make them both look special? I'm afraid the opinions of other special admissions students will be even greater." The white-bearded old man touched his beard and said seriously, "Our responsibility and obligation is to help Longguo cultivate talents. Now the ferocious beasts are boiling and the alien races are rioting. Even among us humans, countries are suspicious of each other and have their own agendas. Big players like the 2 of them who will be able to hold up a sky for the Dragon Kingdom in the future should be special. Anyway, the departmental classification will be after the freshman competition. The excellent results of these 2 will definitely stop their mouths. If you can't keep your mouth shut, let them challenge the 2 of them." Gao Xian heard this and laughed. What the boss said is absolutely true. This is indeed the best way to handle it. I heard that Lyn Ran has been hiding in the Black Dragon Abyss for the past 20 days, fighting against ferocious beasts. Presumably when he comes back, he will make a qualitative leap just like Chinyan. After the meeting, Lyn Miao's eyes widened when she saw Luo Chinan again, looking at her in disbelief. "Are you going to Black Dragon Abyss too?" Luo Chinan nodded firmly. "Almost a month ago, Lyn Ran entered the Black Dragon Abyss. I feel that after more than 20 days of special training given by you, Sister Miao, my strength has improved greatly. It's almost time to go to the Forbidden Area to improve in actual combat. As for Hailongyuan, I can take on some school tasks and earn credits." Secondly, looking at Luo Chinyan's shy face, Lyn Miao smiled and said it for her. "Secondly, you can also take the opportunity to find Lyn Ran, right? And it won't become a burden to him. Luo Chinan was even more shy now, and said coquettishly. Sister Meow. Lyn Meow laughed loudly. Okay, then you can go too. No matter what, fighting in the forbidden area is a required course for your growth. However, if you want to go, you must agree to sister's condition. Luo Chinan was stunned. What conditions? Lyn Meow smiled and took out a scroll and a light ball from the storage space. Take these two with you and I will allow you to go. Otherwise don't even think about it. Luo Chinan took it and saw that it turned out to be two epic disposable props. Emergency Escape Scroll. Category: Disposable Props. Quality: Epic. Prop Effect: After use, the user's physical resistance and magic resistance are increased by 200% for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, the user will be teleported to the set location. The maximum teleportation straight line distance is 50 kilometers, which is beyond the range the rear scroll cannot be used. Curtain of Holy Light. Category: Disposable Props. Quality: Epic. Prop Effect: After use, it creates a defensive light curtain with a radius of 10 meters, which can block all attacks from the outside until the defense energy or time is exhausted, lasting 60 minutes. Lyn Meow continued to smile. You're not quite the same as that guy Lyn Ran. Lyn Ran has a natural spirit body in his body, and the possibility of encountering a life and death crisis is too small. Not to mention his extremely weird methods. You are much inferior to him in terms of physical strength. If you encounter a beast that is too powerful, your life may be in danger. When the time comes, just use these two props together. With the epic level Holy Light Curtain here, even if I come, I may not be able to break it in 10 seconds. Coupled with the Emergency Escape Scroll, it is equivalent to an extremely valuable fault tolerance. Luo Chinan held these two heavy props and couldn't help but sigh. However, these two things are still a bit too precious. The value of epic one-time props can no longer be measured in dragon coins. If Sister Meow really wants to give me life-saving props, I feel that at most platinum level, that's enough. Lyn Meow hummed and smiled. Silly girl, don't you know that your life is 100 times more precious than these so-called props? Hurry and take them. Sister Meow is waiting for the good news that you will kill everyone. As long as you can become the pillar of Dragon Kingdom in the future, our hard work will be worth it. The first floor of Black Dragon Abyss. Near a clear spring. A handsome man was washing his body by the spring. On top of his strong and powerful muscles, there is also an extremely handsome face. This person is naturally none other than Lyn Ran, who has spent 25 days here. Lyn Ran opened his personal panel while enjoying the soak in the spring water. Name: Lyn Ran. Gender: male. Current status: citizen of Longguo, special admissions student of Qingjing Yanyan University's 3077th class. Identity code 306002290000083567. Awakened level 1. Combat power 6778. Executor level F. Military rank corporal. Hunting point 3768.5. Military merit points 0. After more than 20 days of hunting, he had successfully digested 9 bottles of advanced genetic modification fluid. Relying on the effects of these transformation fluids, the combat power has soared to 6778. With the improvement of physical fitness and the unremitting development of various talents, Lyn Ran has received another comprehensive upgrade. Now his king's treasure has reached 12 treasure house doors that can be opened at the same time, and its output firepower has been further improved. Moreover, his control over the king's treasure has also improved significantly. Not only can it achieve some effects of curved shooting, deflection shooting, and rotating shooting, but it can also freely control Wang Kai's strength. There will be no situation where you still fire with all your strength when you want to capture someone alive. The development of Op Fruit and Eternal Mangekyo also had similar effects. Both quality and control have made a qualitative leap. Even now, Lyn Ran can control the heat of Amaterasu very well. Susan's ribs also became more obvious. If the 4th level steel-maned grizzly bear comes to attack the porcelain again, it will definitely not be knocked away by it again. Natural spiritual bodies are also continuing to improve. At present, the vitality, physical strength and life recovery speed it provides are approximately 13 times that of normal people. It is 3 times more than when I first obtained this talent. Now Lyn Ran is even more outrageous. In addition to these improvements in personal abilities, Lyn Ran also gained a full 3,768.5 hunting points. There were almost 10,000 first and second level ferocious beasts that died under his hands. Relying on the nearly unlimited battery life brought by the natural spirit and the soul ring, the large-scale volley of the king's treasure, the manipulation ability of Op fruit, and the observation ability of Sharingan, Lyn Ran slaughtered the beasts at an incredible speed. Faster than a harvester. It is also quite efficient to pick the trophies from the death beast. After I go out, I don't even know how many things I can exchange for these 3,768.5 hunting points. Just the materials on these low-level ferocious beasts can be sold for a pretty good price. Relying on the space preservation ability brought by Op fruit, his materials are of high quality and are definitely very easy to sell. As for the 3 tasks he took on when he came in, he has already completed 2. A lot of fluorescent stones and silence mushrooms were found, which was more than enough to submit the task. He also used a biochip to record a start-to-finish video as reliable proof that he completed the task himself. Only the devil-horned rhino could not be traced for the time being. But Lyn Ran was not in a hurry. Anyway, there is no penalty for failing the mission. I am pretty lucky to be able to complete 2 missions worth hundreds of credits. This layer of Black Dragon Abyss is so big, how can it be so easy to find a special ferocious beast in it? Not to mention that there may not even be a demon-horned rhino within the first layer of Black Dragon Abyss. After Lyn Ran finished washing his clothes, he quickly put on a pair of brand new clothes and took a look at the map and the biochip. After a series of killings, his current position was quite close to the entrance to the 2nd floor of Black Dragon Abyss. And today is already July 20th, and there are only a few days left before the freshman competition. It's almost time for me to go back to school. Why not take a look at the entrance to the 2nd floor of Black Dragon Abyss and then return? Having made up his mind, Lyn Ran immediately rushed towards the entrance to the 2nd floor of Black Dragon Abyss. After traveling for a while, Lyn Ran soon discovered the large hole that was somewhat bottomless and diagonally downward. At this time, let alone the awakened ones, there was not even a ferocious beast at the entrance of the cave, which was quite strange. Lyn Ran ran to the cave and looked inside for a few times. After finding that there was still nothing to gain, he sighed and prepared to leave. But at this moment, he heard a low cry not far away. Lyn Ran glanced at it and immediately spotted a rhinoceros with purple skin behind him and a huge magic horn in front of his head. Devil-horned rhinoceros. Lyn Ran was delighted. It's true that you can't find anything even if you wear iron shoes, and it takes no effort at all to get it. The demon-horned rhinoceros that I had been searching for so long actually appeared directly in front of me. Can I still let you go? Lyn Ran immediately lowered his center of gravity, the door of the treasure house flashed behind him, and he was immediately ready to fight. Judging from Sharingan's energy analysis, this devil-horned rhinoceros has extremely large energy in its body and is probably a 5th-level ferocious beast. And because the demon-horned rhinoceros is a rare beast, its combat power is much higher than that of ordinary beasts. If you don't deal with it seriously, you may suffer a big loss. Logically speaking, this kind of ferocious beast that exceeds the 4th level should not appear on the 1st level of Black Dragon Abyss. Maybe it ran from the 2nd floor to the 1st floor, and is it planning to return to the 2nd floor now? But no matter what, Lyn Ran wanted to keep it. The king's treasure. But what Lyn Ran never expected was that the 10-second gate Wonkai behind him had just shown some intention of launching, and the demon-horned rhinoceros in front of him actually turned around and started running. And the running speed is quite fast. This really dumbfounded Lyn Ran. No matter what kind of ferocious beast he encountered in the forbidden area of Black Dragon Abyss, he always took the initiative to attack. It has never been said that there is such a thing as the demon-horned rhinoceros, which can turn around and run away without firing a shot. His aura should be much weaker than that of the demon-horned rhinoceros. From its perspective, it is obviously a big advantage, so why should it run away? Lyn Ran was puzzled, but if the devil-horned rhinoceros wanted to run away, he definitely couldn't let it go. He could only follow behind and chase after it desperately. While chasing, he controlled Wonkai to shoot at the demon-horned rhinoceros butt. However, the devil's horned rhinoceros has rough skin and thick flesh, and it changes speed very quickly. Lyn Ran's attacks have never had an obvious effect. No, just go to Kamui. Seeing that the demon horn rhino showed no intention of stopping for a while, Lyn Ran focused his magic power in his left eye and prepared to use Kamui to twist the demon horn rhino's leg. See where you can run after breaking your legs. After using magic power to lock the left leg of the demon horn rhinoceros, Lyn Ran directly activated Kamui. Could it be that the cutting effect of my space fragmentation can't break your defense? But what Lyn Ran didn't expect was that his Kamui shot miraculously failed due to the influence of some mysterious force. Kamui did not follow the pre-designed trajectory and hit the rhino's front hooves, but hit a tree nearby. The forest trees were affected by Kamui and were instantly twisted into pieces. The area affected by Kamui recovered much faster. Wrong. This is very wrong. Ever since he came to the entrance to the second level of the Black Dragon Abyss, Lyn Ran has always had a strange feeling. It seems that the space here is separated from other areas, which is quite inconsistent. Could it be that he fell into someone else's trap? Moreover, it is very much like a special illusion. Magical mirror world turns. Lyn Ran, aware of this, hurriedly activated the pupil technique to break and reflect the illusion. Click. The false world that enveloped Lyn Ran immediately shattered like a mirror, and a group of green-black-skinned humanoid creatures suddenly appeared. They were covering their heads in pain, falling to the ground and screaming. As for the trees, land, and devil-horned rhino just now, they are all products created by illusion. Dark Elf. Lyn Ran was shocked when he saw the faces of this group of aliens. You must know that Black Dragon Abyss is a relatively pure beast-type forbidden land. Since there is no space-time rift to communicate with other worlds, foreigners have only two options to choose from if they want to enter Black Dragon Abyss. One is to choose the same path as Lyn Ran and the others, walking in from the armed fortress in a swagger. This is obviously impossible. The second is to summon a small space-time rift in the Black Dragon Abyss and secretly send some of the clan members in. And these dark elves who appeared in front of him at this time obviously came in this way. So, what is their purpose in coming in? However, dark elves do like to engage in such mysterious little tricks, and are good at using such devious methods. Illusion techniques and illusion formations are their special skills. It's a pity that I met myself, the founder of the illusion world. When it comes to illusions, who dares to challenge eternal Mangekyo? Lyn Ran looked at the group of dark elves lying on the ground and snorted coldly. Tsukuyomi. Taking advantage of the opportunity to rebound this scene-type illusion to them, Lyn Ran directly activated Tsukuyomi, completely taking over the dominance of this small illusion array. As a result, these dozens of dark elves were horrified to discover that a group of dirty and terrifying orcs appeared in the illusion world where they lived. Elves and orcs have always been extremely difficult to deal with. Surrounded by the big, round, and menacing orcs, they could only tremble with fear. Elf, tell me what you mean and I will spare your life. Otherwise, we will kill you without mercy, and we will eat you all alive. Quack. The orcs laughed rudely. The dark elves had never seen such a posture before. They were already afraid of life and could only beg for mercy. I said, our little leader Guy Dan sent us here. He asked us to set up a phantom formation here to surround and kill the awakened humans, and take the opportunity to use the horn to plan the beast tide. For the sake of our common enemy human beings, let us live. Lyn Ran was startled by their words. Good guy. Surround and kill the awakened humans and plan the beast tide. These dark elves have really big hearts. In this case, we cannot leave them away to survive. The phantom formation taken over by Tsukuyomi also inherited Tsukuyomi's ability to manifest illusion damage into reality. Under Lyn Ran's will, the orcs present quickly killed all the dark elves. Looking at the dark elves lying in a pool of blood after returning to the real world, Lyn Ran waved his hand, opened Op Fruit's room field, and put the equipment they carried into the soul ring. However, the equipment carried by the aliens is not magic equipment that humans can gain power from. They have their power system that humans cannot use. However, after smelting their equipment, they can create brand new magic equipment. So collecting these materials is quite valuable. Glancing at his military points, which had risen to 17.3, Lyn Ran opened the map and rushed towards the armed fortress. Now I have to quickly pass this news to the armed fortress. Otherwise, if the beast tide planned by the Dark Elves has started, the armed fortress will immediately become the target of public criticism. Just relying on the current defensive strength in the fortress, it is likely that there will be a situation where it cannot keep up. We must seek help from the external garrison as soon as possible. Is this the armed fortress of Black Dragon Abyss? It's really spectacular. Luo Chinan glanced at everything in the armed fortress curiously, stopping to watch. And her arrival also attracted the attention of a large number of people in the armed fortress. A beauty of this caliber is naturally the focus of the crowd wherever she goes. Luo Chinan was dressed quite smartly when she went out this time. There is nothing but a white battle uniform, and this tight-fitting combat uniform perfectly outlined Luo Chinan's exquisite curves. Immediately, a bunch of people came up and wanted to strike up a conversation. However, Luo Chinan, who had no intention of doing so, quickly drove them all away with a smile and waved the lightsaber in her hand. This little girl is so powerful. Looking at his age, he should be a student of Yan University. Well, it can be seen from the blazing sacred lightsaber in her hand that her cultivation is definitely quite good. Yes, and the talent is also a top talent. I really don't know if there is a fixed team or if they are here to find teammates. Are you still looking for teammates? You're thinking too much. You're chasing them away with your lightsaber. We're 100% fixed on the team. After walking around the armed fortress, Luo Chinan almost understood the functions and structure here. She engraved the transmission point of the emergency escape scroll that Lin Miao gave her here while walking towards the entrance. How can we find Lyn Ran? Otherwise, send him an email using the biochip and ask. But in that case, it would not be romantic at all. Luo Chinan especially wanted to meet Lyn Ran by chance in the Black Dragon Abyss. It would be better if Lyn Ran was trapped by the beasts and was rescued by her with her wings spread and a lightsaber in hand. In that case, it's really nice to think about it. When he chats with Lyn Ran again from now on, he will have someone to talk to that can make him laugh in the face. Just when Luo Chinan slowly walked to the entrance, stood in front of the door and was about to step in, she suddenly noticed an extremely familiar figure. Luo Chinan's pupils shrank. This is not Lyn Ran. Seeing Lyn Ran speeding towards him, Luo Chinan didn't know what to do for a moment. Greet, smile, or was it just a chance encounter? But before she could think clearly, Luo Chinan discovered that Lyn Ran had passed her and rushed into the fortress hall behind her. Question mark. Luo Chinan's ever-changing and tangled expression immediately froze on her face. Doesn't this person walk without eyes? Passed by yourself and didn't even notice you. Luo Chinan glanced at Lyn Ran's back angrily, then chased after him. Finally reached. Lyn Ran didn't delay at all because he rushed back to the armed fortress. He rushed into the hall without stopping, ran upstairs as fast as he could, and planned to get into the office of the garrison commander. The soldiers outside the door were startled by Lyn Ran. They didn't know what this mysterious man with the smell of blood on his body was planning to do, so they stretched out their hands to stop him. Lyn Ran grabbed the soldier's hand and said calmly, "The Dark Elves have invaded, and the beast tide is about to come." The extremely brief 12 words made the soldier dumbfounded and his brain shut down instantly. Before he could react, Lyn Ran had already easily bypassed it and entered the office. The group leader who was looking through the information was also a little confused by Lyn Ran. "Who are you?" Lyn Ran took a deep breath. "Yan University student, rank of corporal, Lyn Ran. After saying that, he told the team leader in the simplest terms the major discovery he had just made on the first floor of the Black Dragon Abyss. In order to prove the authenticity of his words, Lyn Ran also showed the group leader some corpses and remains of Dark Elves. The regiment leader's face immediately darkened. He first gave Lyn Ran a military salute, and then said seriously, "The leader of Qingjing 358th Regiment, Chu Yun. This information of yours is extremely valuable. I will contact the military region immediately. Come here, pass the order, the armed fortress is on alert, and all soldiers are ready to fight. Send an email to all the awakened ones who have registered to enter the Black Dragon Abyss and ask them to return quickly. At the same time, we call on all awakened people nearby to join in the defense. Until the military region's support arrives, there is no room for loss in the armed fortress. Lyn Ran also returned a military salute to him. Captain Chu. Then I will go to the entrance of Black Dragon Abyss first and join in the defense together. Chu Yun said seriously. Hard. Just when Lyn Ran turned around and was about to walk out of the office, he suddenly noticed Luo Chinan at the door. Luo Chinan looked unhappy. Hello. Did you really not see me when you passed by the door just now, or were you just pretending not to see me? If you don't explain this matter clearly, it won't be over. Lyn Ran was stunned for a moment, and then thought about it carefully. When he rushed into the door, there seemed to be a woman standing there. However, due to the speed, Luo Chinan also wore a combat uniform that she had never worn before, and Lyn Ran was only focused on the beast-tide and alien races, so he ignored her existence. Lyn Ran could only sigh. There was something urgent, so I accidentally ignored it. Who knew you would come to Black Dragon Abyss at this time? It's really unlucky. Luo Chinan said dissatisfied. What's the emergency? Is it more important than me? It's not a coincidence. What, you don't want me to come? Lyn Ran rolled his eyes. You'll know right away. As expected, Luo Chinan knew immediately. Because, the emergency alarm has sounded on the loudspeaker on the top floor of the armed fortress hall. Moreover, the voice of the messenger also came out. Level 1 alert. Level 1 alert. There are changes in the Dark Elves on the first level of Black Dragon Abyss, and they are planning to launch a beast tide. All soldiers are ready to fight. From now on, no one can enter or leave the armed fortress. Please all awakened people in the fortress participate in the defense as much as possible. Those who do not want to participate in the defense, please leave within 5 minutes. Luo Chinan glanced at Lyn Ran in disbelief. Alien race. Beast tide. Black Dragon Abyss. Did you bring the news back? Lyn Ran nodded, and while taking Luo Chinan downstairs, he briefly told her about his previous findings. Is it the beast tide in Black Dragon Abyss? Luo Chinan's expression also became heavy. Launching a tide of beasts has become an extremely common method used by alien races to deal with humans. After all, low-level ferocious beasts have little intelligence and are particularly easy to incite. At the same time, they are extremely eager for the taste of human flesh. As long as you plan properly, it is not difficult to generate a certain scale of beast tide. However, this kind of beast tide that is not initiated by a high-level ferocious beast leader is generally not particularly destructive. After all, a beast tide composed of only low-level ferocious beasts would not be able to gain much favor from well-trained soldiers. Coupled with the strong city defense and advantageous terrain of the armed fortress, most of them still hit the wall. As for high-level ferocious beasts, under normal circumstances, they will not be instigated by foreign races. However, for the sake of safety, once a beast tide is discovered, the highest officer of the local garrison will still report it to the military region, and the military region will send troops to provide the first round of support. If the situation is stable, retreat after wiping out the beast tide. But if the situation becomes unstable and the scale of the beast tide exceeds expectations, a second or even third round of support will be sent. Logically speaking, the scale and quality of this kind of beast tide instigated by aliens should not be exaggerated. Since the Black Dragon Abyss Forbidden Land was discovered, there have been countless large and small-scale beast tides, and each time it is almost the same. Luo Chinan saw that Lyn Ran didn't look very good, so she comforted him. Lyn Ran nodded. Of course he knew this. However, Lyn Ran always vaguely felt that this time the beast tide was somewhat different. Although it was his first time to experience it, he felt an uncomfortable thorn in his back, but he couldn't put it into words. Lyn Ran could only sigh. I hope so. At this time, after Chu Yun's mobilization, the entire armed fortress began to move. Countless soldiers put on their armor, took out their weapons, and quickly returned to their defensive areas. Troops like this that can be stationed near forbidden areas are basically elite. The soldiers it configures are basically awakened ones with some minor talents, and are much stronger than ordinary soldiers. As for the awakened people inside, except for a few who withdrew from the fortress, most of them found some suitable defensive points and fought side by side with the soldiers. Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan came to the city wall above the entrance gate of Black Dragon Abyss. This place should become the main impact point of the beast tide by then, and people with strong talents like them are most needed to take charge. At this time, the door has been closed tightly, and various ordnance facilities have been set up. Even Chu Yun, dressed in military uniform, stood on the top of the city and looked into the Black Dragon abyss with a telescope. Just when everyone was getting ready, waves of vibrations finally came from the ground. They're coming. The number is very dense and the scale should not be small. Chu Yun put down the telescope and sighed. As the leader stationed here, he naturally hopes that there will never be any changes in Heilongyuan. After all, as long as there is a tide of beasts, soldiers will pay their lives for it no matter what. Casualties are almost impossible to avoid. This naturally made him, who loved his soldiers as his sons, very depressed. However, when he actually faced the beast tide, he certainly didn't have the slightest fear. At this time, Lyn Ran was already in Sharingan and noticed the movement of the beast tide. Looking at the low-level ferocious beasts all over the ground, Lyn Ran could only sigh with emotion. The density was much more terrifying than when he was hunting in the Black Dragon abyss before. If they were hit by this dense tide of beasts and then trampled wildly, even the natural spirit body might not be able to withstand it. It's just that I won't be so stupid. Attention all, prepare to fire. Use your magic guns to knock down the ferocious beasts in the first row and slow down their charge. Chu Yun shouted loudly, but what he didn't expect was that there was someone faster than him. The moment Lyn Ran noticed that the galloping beast had entered his range, he immediately activated Wang Kai. Behind him, the golden treasure house door shone brightly, and countless treasure phantoms poured out. Boom boom boom. The sergeants didn't even need to open fire. Those ferocious beasts in the front row had already been turned upside down by those shot by Lyn Ran. Chu Yun almost popped his eyes out. Isn't this person a freshman at Yanyan University? How could there be such a powerful attack method? Moreover, this kind of effect of summoning weapons from the void and using them to shoot was completely unheard of for him. Luo Chinan on the side was also dumbfounded. How come it has only been more than 20 days since we last seen each other, and Lyn Ran has gained an ability that he has never seen before? The most outrageous thing is that this ability is completely different from the black flames, Suzano, illusions, or space manipulation that Lyn Ran showed before. The awakened people and soldiers were also confused. Oh my god, what kind of talent is this? I don't know. Judging from this terrifying aura, he is at least an SSS level talent, right? This golden weapon was shot out like this, don't you feel bad at all? Look, the weapons he fired will disappear. They should have the ability to recover. I heard that this young man brought the news about the incoming beast tide, and he is still a freshman at Yan University. Is Yan University so powerful now? Can a freshman level up and fight against the beasts? Why do I feel that the firepower he outputs alone is more powerful than the volleys of magic guns fired by 100 of us? Don't feel it, it's the truth. Quote. After Lyn Ran showed this exaggerated wealth, the soldiers and awakened people were also confident, and they fired wildly at the bottom with their long-range weapons. There are strong city defenses with armed fortresses. Except for some ferocious beasts that have long-range attack methods or are flying, you have to be careful. Other ferocious beasts are quite easy to deal with. Seeing that the ferocious beasts were about to attack the city, Luo Chinan also smiled slightly and used her natural ability to spread her angelic wings. Holy Light Meteor. Adertisement. She raised her hand and waved, and countless small meteorites containing the power of holy light suddenly appeared in the air. They rained down on the ferocious beasts and exploded into flowers. Then, Luo Chinan waved her wings and flew into the air, spread her hands and prayed softly, and a layer of golden halo fell on everyone. Hymn of Courage. The soldiers and awakened ones who were shrouded in halo not only felt that their overall attributes had increased a little, but when they launched attacks, they were also enchanted with attacks with sacred attributes. Wow, is this the goddess? It's a holy angel. SSS level talented holy angel. I remembered, currently there is only one person with this talent, and that is the special admission student who ranked second at Yanda this year. National School Beauty Luo Chinan. Oh my god. Goddess Xingyun is also in Black Dragon Abyss. What a powerful sacred secret technique. It can injure enemies on a large scale and strengthen teammates. It's really terrifying. The hexagonal SSS level talent is making trouble with you. Then if this girl is Luo Chinan, wouldn't that handsome guy next to her be? Lyn Ran, the top scorer in the college entrance examination. The person who single-handedly improved the record by 10 minutes. The #1 legend in the college entrance examination world. Oh my god, Yan Dake really found a treasure this year. Quote. Seeing the two men showing Kamui, the soldiers and awakened people were all sighing. Even the well-informed Chu Yun had ups and downs in his heart. Good guy, I have never felt so relaxed when resisting the beast tide. With the buff of Luo Chinan's Hymn of Courage, the power of their magic guns was greatly increased, and the attached sacred enchantment caused the ferocious beasts to suffer a lot. The falling meteors combined with Lyn Ran's 12-dimensional gates that can fire unlimited weapons provided them with extra large-scale artillery support. Under this crazy bombing, the beast tide's offensive was completely contained. Lyn Ran glanced at the consecrated Luo Chinan next to her. Good guy, I haven't seen you for more than 20 days, and Luo Chinan has changed a lot. It seemed that Lin Miao's special training for her was quite useful. Although Luo Chinan had an almost invincible talent in the past, she didn't know how to use it. A majestic holy angel, but he always kills people with a lightsaber. Lyn Ran himself felt that this was outrageous. Now the types of skills have suddenly increased. I have mastered the secrets of spell attack and status gain quite skillfully. I don't know how many times stronger than before. Do these skills of yours consume a lot of mana? Lyn Ran came close to Luo Chinan and asked while ejaculating. Luo Chinan smiled proudly. HMPH, it did consume a lot of mana in the past, but not anymore. After mastering a special meditation method and receiving the angel heart inheritance that Sister Miao helped me carry out, my mana consumption has been greatly reduced. The energy quality in the body has also increased, and more magic power can be stored. The most important thing is that the existence of angel heart basically helps me have a permanent magic spring. My mana regeneration speed is definitely something you can't even catch up with now. Just be envious of my terrible battery life, ha ha ha. Lyn Ran rolled his eyes. Would you envy her battery life? Are you kidding? The natural spirit's pervert blood regeneration coupled with the soul ring's pervert mana regeneration, he is basically a perpetual motion machine that will never run out, and can be said to be the real king of endurance. Although Lyn Ran didn't know what the angel heart was used for, it was definitely inferior to his two magic weapons. Chu Yun saw that Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan were already chatting. He knew that the two of them still had some energy left, and also knew that these two were the only ones in this beast wave. He was already a sure thing, so he came to them with a smile, in front of. Is this the strength of the top pick and the second pick? It really makes Chu ashamed. I'm just a second-level awakened person, but I can't even show my abilities in front of you. Lyn Ran smiled. Captain Chu has already said it. As the leader of a regiment, your command and leadership abilities will definitely overwhelm ours. Without your timely response, we wouldn't have been able to get such a good space to perform. Chu Yun laughed loudly. Brother Lyn Ran has such strength at such a young age and is so humble and low-key. It is really rare. It is definitely foreseeable that the two of you will soar into the sky and become the two core members of the Dragon Kingdom in the future. Don't worry, our military will give you credit for the defense of the city this time, as well as the important information brought back by Brother Lyn Ran. Without you two here, I'm afraid there will be heavy casualties in the armed fortress today. But while Chu Yun was speaking, an inconspicuous black arrow suddenly shot from a distance, pointing directly at Chu Yunfei's head. Chu Yunfei was shocked and was about to dodge. In a blink of an eye, Lyn Ran caught the sharp arrow in his hand without knowing what happened. Room baton. After using op fruit to stop the sharp arrow, Lyn Ran quickly turned his attention to the direction of the arrow. Then, he saw a dark scene. Countless dark elves rode hippogriffs, armed with long bows and short swords, and rushed towards the armed fortress. Horned eagle knights of the dark elves. There are many of them. Everyone, please dodge. Lyn Ran roared angrily, pointed Wang Kai in the air, and began to attack the dark elves. No wonder I always felt uneasy before, the dark elves really had a backup plan. And this backhand is quite terrifying. It was actually them who personally led the troops to invade. And it is also equipped with a large number of horned eagle knights. The hippogriff is a common domesticated war beast of the elves. It has fast flying speed, strong aerial combat capabilities, and can smoothly carry elf archers. It can be said to be quite disgusting. Moreover, the strength of this wave of incoming hippogriffs is basically second to third level hippogriffs. When combined with the second to third level dark elves, their strength is even more terrifying. The first wave of arrows they fired almost completely defeated the defense of the armed fortress. Because the dark elves came too suddenly, the soldiers and awakened people on the city head were not well prepared, and many people were shot to death and injured. Although Lyn Ran has opened up the room field and intercepted some arrows, after all, the current development of cultivation and talent is limited, and the number of arrows is too exaggerated, and it is impossible to block them all. Seeing that the soldiers under his command and the awakened people who assisted in the defense were dying and injured, Chu Yunfei's eyes were about to split. Fight back, kill those foreign fools. No, these dark elves are so arrogant that they dare to directly attack the armed fortress of our dragon kingdom. Needless to say, the soldiers and awakened people also spontaneously started to fight back. However, the gap between the two sides' troops is really a bit big. The opponents are all second and third level awakeners plus second and third level mounts, and the soldiers are only first level. The level of the awakened ones is not low, but their number is limited. Facing the rain of arrows in the sky, they are somewhat unable to protect themselves. Seeing that his room field was not particularly effective in intercepting arrow rain, Lyn Ran gritted his teeth and looked at Chu Yunfei. Captain Chu, when will the support from the military region arrive? Chu Yunfei sighed. It will take half an hour at the fastest. If the military region mobilizes frequently and the troops are short of manpower, it may take an hour. But I have just contacted the military region again and told them the news about this beast tide mixed with alien attacks. It should attract their attention. The time it takes to rush to rescue should be the fastest one. Lyn Ran smiled. That's only half an hour, right? Let's do this, Commander Chu. Let the soldiers and other awakened people take cover first. We will focus on preserving our strength in the front. Just leave these hateful aliens and ferocious beasts to us. Chu Yunfei's face turned pale and he shook his head repeatedly. No, how can any soldier let the people fight in front and run behind to hide? Although you are very powerful, there are too many opponents. After all, it will be difficult for you to defeat four with just one fist. If we stay, we can provide you with some fire support. Lyn Ran shook his head and said seriously, Captain Chu, I said this because I don't want to see unnecessary casualties. Are the lives of soldiers and citizens of Dragon Kingdom not worth the price of face? Qingyun and I have strong battery life and high defense. What we are best at is tug of war. Besides, I just want you to retreat to the fortress buildings and engage in street fighting, and no longer stick to the city walls. Just leave the rest to us. With that said, Lyn Ran did not continue to argue with Chu Yunfei, but stood on the top of the city. Sharingan's eyes flashed. He wants to conquer Chu Yunfei with practical actions. Suzano. Under Lyn Ran's control, blue energy arms and skeletons immediately emerged, and relying on the huge body, they immediately set up a solid shield. Luo Chinan, on the other hand, gave a low shout and flew away, dragging the flaming tail of the lightsaber with both hands, and slashed from bottom to top, directly piercing a dark elf. Holy light cross slash. Luo Chinan kept her sword sharp and swung another cross slash, directly killing several dark elves and beheading hippogriffs. The dark elf who fell to the ground was immediately trampled into a pulp by the ferocious beasts. The king's treasure. Lyn Ran was also on full fire at this time. While standing on the city wall, he used Wangkai to shoot the dark elves in the air. At the same time, he used Suzano's strong arm and an energy sword to slash at the ferocious beasts below that were attacking the city wall. It can be said that he shoots his bow from left to right, so majestic. He looked at Lyn Ran, who was standing on the top of the city like a god of war, and then looked at Luo Chinan, who was soaring in the sky, fighting closely with the dark elves, and constantly killing enemies. Only then did Chu Yunfei realize that the strength of the two of them was far beyond his imagination. At this time, Chu Yunfei finally gritted his teeth and drank. All soldiers and the rest of the awakened people withdrew from the city and entered the armed fortress to preserve their strength and wait for support from the military region. Leave the main battlefield to Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan. Don't add unnecessary casualties. After getting Chu Yunfei's order, look at Lyn Ran and Luo Chinan who are like gods. The awakens and soldiers also realized that this place did not seem to be suitable for them, so they quickly dragged the wounded and evacuated towards the buildings within the armed fortress. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.